She's a primitive still. There she is. There she is.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone. Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch and Infinite Combinations number 177, where we're exploring all of the Twilight Zone. Today we're taking a closer look at season 3 episodes The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank and To Serve Man. So that's a pretty big one, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And today, joining me today to talk about these episodes is the Wayfarer Project. Hello and welcome. How are you?
Hello. I'm feeling kind of peckish.
Oh, are you
That's
on your way to
British.
Earth?
That's
Okay.
British for a little bit hungry.
Yes, I did understand.
Okay.
Yeah, unless Swappers.
That's why I was going to ask you if you're on your way to Earth for a snack.
I've been known to do brief flybys of planet Earth.
And hello and welcome to Istophobos. Great having you on my channel for the first time ever.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I've been watching you for a very long time since the old all the Star Trek stuff you used to do. I'd been quiet in chat for a good number of years, and then sort of Clobby got me to start speaking up and talking to people, and since then it's only gotten worse.
Clobby had that habit of bringing people on who were quiet, and I was one of those people too. So we share that in common.
You know, have you eaten enough? You guys are looking a little thin. Maybe, maybe you should have some food.
Yeah. Well, possessing a body is hard work.
Yeah.
Well,
it depends on which
instead of 2.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I remember a lot of the Twilight Zones. I still remember the circumstances of when I first watched them while they were on air with my little UHF tinfoil antenna. Yeah, I'm in the basement. I'm supposed to be sleeping. I have the TV on. My parents are asleep, and I'm sneaking to watch. I've been a night owl my whole life, so.
Incredible. Yes, and yeah, when you stay up late and you get to catch the Twilight Zone. Well, sometimes the Twilight Zone ran earlier in the day too, because I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Northpoopa's Q-Burr is here, and I wanted to say hi to the chat. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just hey Snort. I also remember the Twilight Zone marathons they would have during the holidays. Or some really nice memories I've had before my parents passed away. So we would sort of have those
lovely.
on.
My parents didn't watch the Twilight Zone with me. That is really sweet.
Yeah, I always felt like we were watching a different show, but but we were watching it together. So
nice. That's a good tradition.
Oh, Gavin says my gain's low. Am I not sounding loud enough?
I thought you sounded okay, but maybe if you want to bump it a bit, it wouldn't hurt.
Is this any better, Gav?
And see, I knew it. I knew I didn't have to worry about spoiling it because Gavin Blackburn's right here with it already. Everybody knows the twist. 30-cent people burgers and 25-cent people pie. So I can play.
The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook.
A poll. I forgot the poll. Okay, thank you, Gorilla's Random Thoughts. I completely forgot. I always have a poll where I ask everybody which episode do you enjoy more.
I think I know which one's gonna win.
Who knows? Maybe people like Jeff. I can't say that with a straight face. Sorry.
You know, Jeff's all right. The whole episode was just a bit odd.
Well, yes, it isn't taken as seriously as it should have. But maybe it wanted to be funny. I'm not sure.
Well, every character was a caricature of like settler life. I guess it took place during Prohibition. At least that's what it seemed like
Mhm.
around the 20s. But yeah, everyone was a caricature.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, they're either riding horse and buggies or the very first kind of cars.
Small town proper in the extreme. Well,
Gavin
you
Blackburn.
sure are comfortable, Comfort.
Yeah. Those names, so funny.
Comfort.
Now we know where Jaws came from. Yes, from another galaxy. And we'll get to that. Yes, the lady with braces. Okay. Dolly had braces. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Istophobos, Gavin's still on about your gain. I would recommend check your OS. I guess it's Windows. Check your sound input level. A lot of times, software likes to mess with that.
All righty, then I will do that. And Dolly did have braces. Somewhere in my storage locker is a original VHS of Moonraker. And if I ever dig that thing out, but I've seen other people's, I don't know why that they took them out in post for later issues of the movie, but she did have braces. Even the actress doesn't remember, but I think they were always painted in.
Well, yeah, the actress doesn't remember, so obviously she never wore any headgear. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Right. But
I wasn't there, but everybody who basically I had a poll when I covered Moonraker a couple weeks ago, and people were split 50-50 if they didn't see it in the theater. But if they saw it in the theater, most people believed that she had braces.
Yeah. Well, one, the joke just doesn't work if she doesn't. And two, like I've known my whole life she had, like, this isn't the influence of anyone else. At any point in my life since I've seen the movie, I know she had braces. I don't know why it was a post effect and they didn't actually have her wearing anything. But you can still see stills and video clips on YouTube of her clearly having braces. So,
and some of those are faked, so I'm not sure exactly if that was actually the film reel or if that's just somebody playing a joke. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to dig up my VHS, but it's not really the top of my priority list.
No, and it's also not. I did not expect to have a Dolly conversation, but I should have because we're talking about Jaws. Hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. I have to stop drinking. Must have blacked out and missed a day again. Okay, so he's kidding. He didn't actually black out. He's just disturbed every time I don't stream on my designated days. If I don't stream on, because my days are Tuesday and Friday, I'm streaming on Wednesday because I had to have a family date yesterday, and so he's disturbed by this, and he doesn't like it when I stream on off days like this. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully,
I'm absolutely sympathetic to people who don't like change.
I think you sound louder now.
Yeah, you sound better
Gavin,
now.
yeah, I think you sound good.
Okay, great. Yeah, I boosted it from the control panel. So
Nice. Phantom Outsider says the alternate ending was the Canamids. They're polar bears. But they went with the cookbook instead. Actually, you're not too far off, Phantom Outsider. They were supposed to be pig people, but let's talk about this Western first. Ted Cassidy hated that he and Richard Keel were often confused. Ted was a trained actor and thought Richard was not. And just getting by on his height and size. Oh my God, I didn't realize they had a kind of opinions about each other, both being very tall men.
Well,
With
he wasn't great on the facial acting. It
which,
just kind of was
oddly enough worked
there.
really well in the next episode because he looks emotionless, and that is really creepy,
Yeah.
alien. But we'll get to that. Phantom Outsider says she had braces, and that's why her and Jaws connected. Her braces plus her glasses were also what turned Jaws on, as she was not perfect, and Drax only wanted perfect people. But you could also look at her height. Her height was also technically not perfect. It throws off. That's the counter argument, by the way. It throws off my whole schedule for the week. I appreciate that I have that kind of power, Gorilla, and I thrill in abusing it. I mean, the young lady in Moonraker had braces, yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's get these slides up. We need
Yeah.
Oh, we also had John the Beagle Dad was here yesterday, and he said that To Serve Man gave him chills as he was a child. So we will definitely get to that episode. I was looking at because some chats came in yesterday. I wanted to make sure to read that one. So this one is The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank, and it first aired on February 23rd, 1962. It was written and directed by Montgomery Pittman. And we start off as at the church. A funeral is being held for a man. He's so young that they refer to him as a boy. And Reverend Siddons, played by Bill Fawcett, presides. Many are at the wedding, including these two little boys who are watching from outside the window. I think that they're credited as Tom and Jerry, which I don't know if there's any relation to the cat and mouse, but
I wonder why they didn't mention that in the episode.
I don't know. But here we have a wooden coffin covered with flowers, and the Reverend is describing Jeff as a good man.
A good
And
boy, actually. He called him a boy.
Yeah, boy. We cut to his family, and they're sad and everything, and especially his mother, who is openly weeping. And then we cut to his girlfriend, Comfort, and we'll knock this one out right away.
Southern Comfort.
Yeah. Oh, Southern. Oh, good one. She's played by Sherry Jackson, who is also Andrea, the robot in Star Trek. What little girls are made of.
Yeah, they really sort of dressed her down here because she is a beautiful woman. And she had come up in a couple other things we were talking about recently. We've been doing old movies on Wednesday nights, but I wouldn't have even recognized her like from this still here.
Me neither. She's really cute, but I wouldn't have made that connection either. I do my research for all the Star Trek actors, and so we have a few. We have a few today.
This scene here looks so Beverly Hillbillies. Like there's Grammy in the back, Ellie Mae, and Jethro.
Lots of nuclear families represented in this episode. And go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that everyone was over the top, stereotypical for, this culture or subculture, if you would say. It was like really done to the extreme. But at least one good thing about Jeff Myrtlebank is they said he never did interact with the bootleggers. So that's how you know
that's
it was
right.
during Prohibition.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you for that.
I don't think they were talking about a record store. So
no, you're right. You're right. But he was good. He didn't always come to Sunday school, but he didn't deal with the bootleggers. And I want to welcome to the panel Philip. Hey, how are you doing, Philip? It's been a while. Philip Leavenworth used to join me for All Mankind reviews. And hopefully
Howdy,
does
folks.
again
Hey, Philip.
when season 5 comes out.
Yeah, I'm hoping season 5 comes out soon. Hope everyone's doing well.
Yes.
Feels like it's been too long, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome. If you got anything to say about this episode, and as we move along, scene by scene, let us know.
You know, I think this is like the one episode that I actually don't remember ever seeing. And so it was kind of fascinating going back and watching it and kind of seeing it for the first time. And at least what I think is the first time. They used to have reruns on Sci-Fi Channel every New Year's, and my dad and I would watch it religiously. And this is the one I don't think they played very often.
No, I know. They seem to replay all the really great ones, and
Oh,
so we miss out on so many. Gavin Blackburn says, I prefer Sherry Jackson when she only wore 2 pieces of material in Star Trek. Yes, that Dice fellow, he knew how to make a costume. Oh, as the Reverend is saying that the Lord moves in mysterious ways, that's exactly when Jeff wakes up and opens his own coffin, and everyone is shocked.
What's his name? Bill Finnegan?
I don't know that joke.
Oh, it's Finnegan's Wake. James Joyce. Okay, I'll be quiet. Let's move on.
I will look it up later.
I think that's a
This looks
literature
interesting.
reference.
Yeah.
I think this still is an image I recall in the past, but I don't remember it being in any specific episode prior to this. So seeing it in this context was interesting.
And the way that Jeff wakes up is he seems pretty out of it, and just like a undead waking up.
Yeah,
This
but not
is
groggy, really. He's just like, huh? What's going on?
Mhm.
Yeah, he feels
Jeff
fine.
Jeff is played by James Best, and we've seen him before in the Twilight Zone in The Grave. He played Johnny Robb in that episode, and according to him, his casket was never fully closed during the scene because he's not claustrophobic, he says, but when they closed that lid, I stuck a pencil or something under the lid and told them to leave it there. I didn't get scared laying in there. But that pencil did keep the box from getting a bit stuffy. Oh, and you see the holes inside? Interesting. I didn't notice that when I was this entire time until just now.
Yeah, you don't want to poke your head up out of the coffin when it's, take 23 and you're all sweaty.
True. So
Now,
we have
there is
an opening narration.
There's an interesting historical aspect to this, which is, back in World War I, they didn't always know if some of the wounded that came in were alive, because I guess the diagnostic tools they had at the time, and they would put a piece of glass. Actually, I think this may have started during the Civil War. They would put a piece of glass over the head, and somebody would write alive with their finger, and it would slowly fog up and show the word when the nurses were coming through. So all this is just to say a lot of people, especially, in earlier times, were mistakenly pronounced dead when they were just they were going through a really low metabolism period due to injury or some other reason.
That's fantastic you mentioned that real history, because that is actually mentioned in this episode later on when the doctor talks about other methods he used to make sure that Jeff was dead. So here's the opening narration. Let's see, where's Rod? We need to get to Rod in the slide. Oh, everybody needs to run away first. I forgot about that part. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to scream. They're going to run away. And everybody screams and runs away except for the Reverend himself. Just a little confused.
Yeah. It would be a bit disconcerting.
Here it is. Time, the mid-20s. Place, the Midwest. The southernmost section of the Midwest. We were just witnessing a funeral that didn't come off exactly as planned, due to a slight fallout from the Twilight Zone. And Pete says, PG, hello, PG. That's why they had wakes in centuries past, just to make sure the person was dead. Nobody wants to be buried alive.
No. But, usually if you ended up not being dead, you didn't get the nicest of receptions, as we'll see here. So,
Oh, that's true. That's true. Clearly.
that whole thing, like testing the witch. If she floats, she's a witch. If if she drowns and dies, she wasn't a witch.
I don't know.
I used to think that was a joke, but apparently it was actually historical. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation once the accusation is made. So
The witch hunt thing, that was a hysteria among the populace in many places, and unfortunately, because there are no witches. Phantom Outsider says, here's the thing. If he had died, he'd have lost bowel control. Does everybody? I don't think everybody does. But,
Well, South
okay.
Park would.
Well, even if you did, I
beg
think they
to
would have
differ.
cleaned him up before they got him in the coffin.
Right, that's true. So somebody would know that he soiled himself.
Well,
It's
they
just the
do.
one thing the doctor doesn't mention.
They do address this briefly with a line later, but I was at first thinking, what about the embalmer? I mean, seriously, don't they remove the
Yeah.
blood and
Yeah.
put some other stuff in? But they handled that later.
They mentioned
Yeah.
that too. He mentions, "Oh, well, thank goodness you didn't embalm me."
Yeah.
yeah, the bladder control thing is extremely common, but it doesn't happen in every case. So
Okay, good to know.
Well, you only get one opportunity to try.
Hopefully, find out way later than sooner.
Oh, Phantom Outsider is going to avoid that altogether by switching from matter directly to energy. If it's spontaneous combustion, so be it. Okay, and
Yeah,
let me know
I
how.
mean-
Well, I guess you can't let me know how that works.
I mean, if he transcends to a higher plane of existence, he could, hypothetically.
yeah, send a message.
Yes. Yes, I welcome all listeners in this world or other worlds. Greek letters Larson says, once again, I let my intuition dictate my vote. Oh, nice. There's a scene like this in the book Ivan. Oh, the Prince Athelstan literally gets up from the funeral table. Whoops. Okay, so there we are. Let's get started. Jeff is upset at whoever presumed him dead, while the Reverend tries to calm down everybody. And Jeff can't understand. So then we meet Doc Bolton, played by Edgar Buchanan. And Buchanan, okay, so he's an actor. He did a lot of stuff. Oh, goodness. He did The Long Goodbye, The Pet, Deadly Weight, The Angry Man, lots of things. But I don't know what any of this stuff is. Oh, but Gunsmoke. Everybody did Gunsmoke.
Yeah, it was on for so long. I think anybody in Hollywood ended up making a guest appearance.
Yes. Lots of Westerns. But the doctor explains that Jeff had a terrible case of the flu that led him to stop breathing and lose his pulse. And Jeff says he feels weak, but he's really hungry. I could eat the hide off a bear. I was going to get the clip of that, but I didn't get a chance.
Oh, I have to apologize. This is a bad habit of mine. When I mentioned Finnegan's Wake, the James Joyce story about the guy who comes back during his wake, the name was Tim Finnegan, not Bill. The thing is, my father had a friend named Bill Finnegan when I was growing up, so I always get that wrong. I just wanted to
thought that was
correct myself before that was put in the can.
Yeah, he looks so familiar in that picture there. I think anybody would recognize him even if they couldn't place him.
Oh, hello, Oiler Greg. Bear hide for Thanksgiving. Yeah. No, I'll pass. So he's excited to see his parents, but of course, them and everybody else, they're all terrified to see him. And he realizes that everyone is afraid, and so he loses how chipper he is because he came out very chipper. And then he tries to see if his girlfriend still likes him, but it's clear she's also spooked.
I mean, it would be kind of alarming to find out that, somebody you care about that you thought was dead has arisen.
Yeah.
Although you could end up. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, you
Finally.
get the sense that they want to go all Highlander on him. And say, we saw a broadsword run right through you.
Yeah, they already grieved him. That's the thing that's disturbing everyone is they already saw him die and they said goodbye, their goodbyes, and they cried already. They probably were just finally getting over the denial stage, and now he's back. So finally, Jeff turns to his little sister, and she's also hesitant, but she's the first one to actually embrace him and overcome her fear, and everybody follows her lead. Jeff, you fooled them, didn't you, Jeff? And then the doctor makes up this very fake condition that explains that Jeff, appeared dead, but now he's alive. Ipso suspendo animation.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. There it is.
It makes you also question the doctor a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just good enough.
Yeah, he thinks he's protecting the parents' feelings at this. Well, we find out later.
But it would be the kind of science, quote unquote, scientific name that I would expect like a down home, small town doctor to kind of conjure up.
Oh, Finnegan's Wake was published in 1924. That is interesting because this episode is set in the 20s.
Yeah, almost or a little over 100 years ago now.
There is an interesting phenomenon that often happens, and it's sad that people who were facing near terminal illnesses who actually survive have a higher risk of self-deletion afterwards. And psychologists think it has to do with the fact that their family, friends, their community have already grieved them while they were fighting the illness, and they treat them a completely different way after they recover. So it's just another one of those things that, we have already grieved you. We've already come to acceptance. We've gone through all this. So it's impossible to treat them the same as before they got sick. I thought it was sort of a sad but documented phenomenon.
Wow.
That is sad. Wow.
Yeah.
And that shows, and there's this question, this mystery. Is this really Jeff? Or did somebody take over Jeff's body? Or is he otherwise supernaturally afflicted? And so that he doesn't seem so depressed. He seems exceptionally happy. He doesn't seem like he wants to self-delete. He just enjoyed breakfast. He's not overeating like he used to eat 3 eggs. Now he just eats 2. And now he overworks.
But he just said how hungry he was. That's
yeah, but this is a couple months later. Wait, how many weeks later? 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
Well, we hope he eats enough before he gets on the ship.
Because right after she said that she was going to fry a rabbit for him, but now he's having breakfast. So this was a little bit later.
Rabbit.
Yes, that's what she said.
I mean, one thing is, it's not like he's behaving in a way that's, problematic, at least not yet. He's mending the fence and, if your crime is eating 1 less egg, I think that's forgivable.
Yeah.
Well, the the thing is, that's what's strange about him is that he's become a better person in some ways, not overeating, working more, not being as lazy.
Well, that often happens with a near terminal experience, but
Yeah.
it's good he took the opportunity. But he's also going to be under such heightened scrutiny by the townspeople that even if he didn't act any differently, people will notice things that they didn't notice before due to the excess attention.
I mean,
That's
if you
true.
take
That's how the
yeah,
witch hunt works. Go ahead, Philip.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, like, there's a couple of narrative threads I'm noticing as I was watching through the episode. I mean, you have like this sort of like Frankenstein or element where it's like person is reanimated, and then like the townspeople are kind of like they want to fight back against him, and then that's like a small tinge of it. Then you also have like this sort of pseudo Christ narrative where he's kind of like arisen, but it's different. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that like the horror element of this is mostly just them getting used to the idea that he's been reborn. But generally speaking, it's more of a wholesome narrative, if nothing else. Because I mean, in the context of the townspeople, everybody itself, it's actually pretty nice.
He's a pretty nice demon as far as they go. Yes.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Could be worse.
he does attempt to get a little more hands-on with comfort, though, later.
so the father tries to wave it off, but he realizes that the mother is correct. That in how much he's changed. And so we move on, and Liz has to pick up the a new catalog for the dad to read through because his catalog got overread, I guess. Well, I ain't afraid of frogs. It's just that they're dirty. She's this is her only acting credit. She's not bad.
Oh, she's like Newt from Aliens. One hit wonder.
Yes. And she ends up telling a couple of local boys about how worried her parents are about Jeff's behavior. And that starts the gossip train. And it spreads all over town. Rumors start to flourish about Jeff's different behavior and things that they know changed about Jeff. And the gossip gets worse and worse as it goes along, as it usually does. And there's this lady who shoos out a little boy who wants to eavesdrop. And he has to get rid of him. She threatens him to put a mouthful of black pepper in. Oh my God. That's child abuse. Crazy. Okay, so even the men are gossiping, like as if they were in a salon, like women. So they're gossiping about Jeff here. I don't mean to be sexist, but before we go any further, we've got some Star Trek royalty here. He's been in a he's been in a Twilight Zone episode before, Execution and Dust. Where is he? I know I got a slide of him. There he is.
Oh yeah.
So there he is, yes. But we're talking Star Trek now, and he appears in the very first pilot of Star Trek, The Cage, and of course also comes back in the Menagerie as in the same role, Dr. Theodore Haskins, who's not really there. He's an illusion. And he's also the independent-minded Tamar in The Return of the Archons. And he's one of the few in the episode who figures out how to not become one of the body. And last, and probably, yes, is the least of the three. He's credited as the old man in this episode. He says the title of the episode, and he says it like this: "For the world is hollow, and I have touched the sky."
That Landry Return of the Archons episode, it really is creepy. Like, I don't think I fully appreciated when I first saw it, just how creepy an episode it is. The whole invasion of the body snatchers almost thing going on.
Well, the Archons are creepy.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
There's some ideas that they're the preliminary thoughts of what became the Borg later on.
Ah,
Possible. And of course, he's also the postman and Lassie, a recurring role. And obviously lots of other stuff, Perry Mason and things. Lots of things. Goodness. Creep Show! Yeah, I loved him in Creep Show. Yeah, that's good. He was good in that. That was a good movie. So then also, they're sitting around, they're gossiping, one saying that he's fiddling with things like axes. We don't ever actually see Jeff doing any of his fiddling, which might be a good
No.
thing.
But they mentioned that a few times. He's been fiddling with things. What things?
No? Well, axes, for one. No, what is my phone doing? I don't even know where it is, so it's just gonna... Oh, there it is. Sorry. So, but since the last phone call was already an exaggeration, we don't really know what to believe at this point. So we've got to see it. And here, sometimes I read from Mark Scott Zicree's Twilight Zone Companion, and here it says Pittman selected character actors who could handle the light touch necessary for this kind of country humor. Edgar Buchanan, later Uncle Joe on Petticoat Junction, Dub Taylor, and John Lormer are the most vocal and ignorant townspeople. Sherry Jackson, Pittman's stepdaughter, and regular on Make Room for Daddy as a child, plays Comfort, the sweet and innocent love interest. Lance Fuller is quite funny as Comfort's brother Orgrim,
Yeah.
a fellow who seemingly has a force field of stupidity around him. Yes, we will get to him soon. So in this particular...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I'm reading from the same Twilight Zone companion, so it's interesting.
he looks like a tiny John Goodman there in the hat.
What I'd be questioning was the sanity of this family. I guess they're the Gatewoods is the last name that named their kids Comfort and Orgrim.
Now, Comfort, maybe that's okay, but Orgrim, I've never heard anybody named Orgrim before. That's a pretty
But
old name.
both, it's like, man, you have some very eclectic interests.
There's some very interesting names that you find in the, before the 20th century, I think.
Makes sense. So the doctor is just here to, I guess, buy a pickle. He's got a pickle. But also, he admitted to these men that he made up that rare disease, that it wasn't real, and that the truth is that he did all he could to determine that Jeff was dead. He also did that mirror breathing test you were talking about and pricked him with a needle. And the men are theorizing that this new Jeff isn't the real Jeff. And they even go so far to suggest that he could be an evil spirit who has taken over Jeff's body, because one of them had a grandma who told him about it.
So in essence, he's in a pickle.
Yes. So then we get to Comfort. And she's having a date with Jeff. And we notice the dogs are barking at him incessantly. And as we learned from a previous episode, the dogs can sense evil. So, but that's never really explored. Jeff's coming over to hang out with her, and she intends to entertain him despite her family protesting. Well, you're just plain rotten stubborn. I bet all your kids are born with horns. Foreshadowing. So he's being cute, and she's happy to see him, and she's delighted he brought her flowers, but then horrified when she sees that they're dead, even though he had just picked them. So the power to kill flowers on touch, that's not good.
Yeah, well, this is one of the first sort of truly unusual things
Yeah.
that begins to happen. So, um, it's all been sort of speculation and gossip and paranoia up until this point.
Hmm. Well, from then on, exactly. This is the first actual tangible proof. She's jumpy. She doesn't want him to touch her. She puts on
Yeah.
some music, but she can't fight off that fear.
Some
Yeah.
country blues.
I think what they call that maybe magic, maybe mundane trope. This is the first thing, you know, this is the first indication, while not definitively proof. It's the first, moment of weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an uncanny moment that's discordant with everything else.
Yes. And he knows what's going on, why she's acting this way. He's tired of people treating him like a vampire. Well, at least he doesn't seem like he wants to suck anybody's blood, so I don't know if he's a vampire. But something is going on. Something gave him the power to kill like that. I don't know. So obviously she doesn't want him to touch her because of those flowers.
Well,
He
wouldn't
finally-
the flowers already be dead once he picked them? He just sort of accelerated their decomposition.
That is the question. I do not know what the magic is here. That is, and if it extends to other forms of life or just to plants.
It's a kiss from the rose on the grave.
Yeah, like if he brought her flowers in a pot, would they have been okay?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
If he didn't touch them and he dug them up with the shovel.
He should have had the foresight.
Well, anyway, she does not want to have anything to do with him, so he finally realizes he should leave, unlike how a demon would normally behave if he is in fact a demon. I don't know what he is. This is he's being kind and respectful to her wishes, which is unusual for someone we know to be different from their real self. We know he's different from the Jeff that died.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but we don't know what he is exactly.
I think that's what makes this episode so interesting is there's the real irony where his positive changes are the very things that are causing the people to fear him. He was a meek and lazy man, and now he's sort of a good guy who stands up for himself, but is actually considered a monster. And, this is in contrast to the usual Twilight Zone things where, the person would come back wrong, all Pet Cemetery and stuff. Right. So it's sort of interesting that he is being judged a monster because of the very reason of his new good behaviors.
Yeah, he's come back wrong, even though he's come back better.
Except for the
so it's like he was a bad or like potentially bad human, and then he comes back better. And now that they're judging him for that too, no matter what he would do, dead or alive, he's going to be judged by this community.
Oh, let's be real though. He wasn't bad before. He was just kind of like.
Well, I'm saying like if somebody were able to make the conflation that laziness equal bad, that would be one way you can characterize it. Yeah. Not everybody's going to characterize it that way, but
although his parents did say he's not exactly lazy, he just wasn't interested in work.
Yeah.
That's one way. I feel compelled to
anybody
speak up.
Actually interested?
Yeah, on behalf of all lazy people, I feel compelled to. While it's definitely not a virtue, I don't think it makes it bad.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my lazy moments too, and actually, I find them more virtuous than not. But I'm saying for the time, I think in the 1960s, it would have been more viewed as more of a sin, because I mean, that's sloth is like one of the 7 sins. So I can see that kind of being the conflation they would make at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, but at least he didn't get involved with the bootleggers.
That's true.
That would have been a bridge too far.
Mm-hmm.
So Orgrim's decided he's got to beat up Jeff to show him to stay away from his family.
And so he really likes to roll up his sleeves real high.
Well, that's how you know you're a tough guy.
Yeah, that's how you know he means business. He's ready to go. Jeff
That's
says
the
I'm not.
reason.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the reason.
that's the reason they named him Orgrim. Orgrim.
There you go.
So Jeff says, I ain't mad at you in particular, but it'd be a shame if you got in my way and had to take it out on you.
Mhm.
And Orgrim reminds him, you forgot who I am. If I had a dime every time I whooped you, I'd have $100. So they get in a fight, and it's not even any kind of contest. Jeff knocks him down with extreme ease compared to, I guess, every other fight they've ever had their entire lives where Orgrim would win.
It. I think we could put the word "fight" into quotes. The whole dancing around the tire swing was, I don't know. Well, I guess it was somewhat comical. I guess that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this episode's trying to be funny. But
Or they just
Orgrim is,
thought like southern rural people are just like that.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. They say, oh, he fights differently. He fights like he's in a ring.
Yeah. It's not exactly Mike Tyson there.
Yeah, it's just another aspect of the episode's overall ambiguity. Even its humor is like you're not exactly sure when to take it seriously or not.
I don't know. But even though her brother just got knocked down,
Yeah.
Comfort doesn't feel bad for him. She feels bad for Jeff for being
All of a sudden,
alone.
it's funny how that was just all
Well,
of a sudden.
women like a bad boy. What can you say?
Yeah.
So Orgrim goes to see the doctor, and he's reminding everyone, hey, I normally kick his ass, but this time I couldn't do it. He must have had ring training. That man is dangerous enough to kill with his bare hands. And he didn't really say kick his ass. I was modernizing it.
Yeah.
And
But it is an exaggeration. You know, I think that
Yeah.
was intentional to say, okay, that's a little much.
so
But
this
it's
new
got to be, there's got to be a catalyst to get the villagers out there with pitchforks.
Yes. And it's just all adding up. This new Jeff, he works harder. He eats less. He fights better. He's more sure of himself. This isn't our Jeff. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah, bring back the one who didn't have all these things.
The men have all decided they have to do something about this Jeff. That's not that they don't think is Jeff. But Comfort comes to warn Jeff, even though she was afraid of him earlier, that the men are coming to drive him out of the country. And she still
country.
loves him despite it. Yeah, the country. That's what she says.
The whole country. I know.
The
I
whole
was
country.
thinking at that point, it's like, okay. Now they're ICE agents or something.
Oh, let's not go there. Even though Comfort has heard bad things about Jeff, she still loves him. She says some funny things. She says, "I'm the kind who believes whatever is said by them I'm with."
Yeah.
It's I guess she at least she knows that she does that. But before she could answer whether or not she wants to marry him, the men arrive to announce that Jeff is dead and that this guy's not Jeff and that they want him out of town. And so they know something's happened to him. They don't know what's happened to him. We don't know what's happened to him. We don't know if he is just a demon or if he is Jeff, if he's got possessed, or he is still Jeff, but he just has supernatural powers now that make him
Well,
different.
They used
Well-
a new word there, and I learned something from watching the episode. They used the word haint.
Haint.
Yep. And apparently that's when a deceased person gets possessed by some other spirit, not necessarily a demon, but just somebody or something, and comes back.
Yeah, not necessarily human either, but it comes from the proto-Germanic Proto-Germanic word that became Old English, meaning breath. And it sounded a little different. I don't know how it turned into haint, but that's what Webster's say the etymology of the word was. But I think we know it's... Sorry, what?
No, I never heard of that before this.
Yeah, I don't recall either. I think we know sort of on the basis of on jury duty, if they ask you if you can be impartial, and I'm like, well, if he's not guilty, what's he doing on trial? The fact that he's on the Twilight Zone gives us a really clear indication something weird's going on, or you wouldn't be on the Twilight Zone.
So Comfort decides that she's with him. She's going to marry him. I reckon I'm with you no matter where we have to go. So she takes his side, and that gives me an indication that she says Jeff indicates that whether or not he's going to leave is up to Comfort. Like he's essentially giving her the decision. So if she would have said no, do you think Jeff would have left him?
Probably. There's nothing there left for him. The only thing
Yeah,
left
and
for him is really her. And I mean, initially she wanted him out of the house, kind of, or, she didn't really feel comfortable around him, but that switched, I guess, when he started standing up for himself with Ogrim, and now the townsfolk. I guess him standing up for himself is what kind of like, I guess, intrigued her. I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to do readings on this channel. Istophobos, would you like to read Jeff's his speech that he tells the men to get them to go away?
Sure. Give me a second to find my glasses on. I will be more than happy to do the reading. All right. Give me a second to find my glasses. Oops.
Yeah, there's a slight echo, but I think you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm going to have to pull this up. So I don't see the reading yet.
It's in the private chat.
Oh, I see. Oh, I was looking on the screen. Okay. It says, then I might wave my left hand and dry up all of your well.
It starts before that? You don't see anything before that?
There's a paragraph above that, too.
Yeah, let me scroll up. Sorry. Okay. All right. This is quite a reading here. So we're going to stay, and that means just two things. One, if you're wrong about me, then you ain't got nothing to worry about, because that means I'm just a poor old country boy by the name of Jeff Myrtlebank. On the other hand, if you're right about me, then you better start treating me pretty nice, because you don't know all the kind of trouble I can cause you. I might wave my right hand and bring a whole grove of locusts down in your crops. Then I might wave my left hand and dry up all of your wells. Then I might snap my fingers and burn down a barn or two. And then some morning, if I get up and feel exceptionally ornery, I love the word ornery, I might have the hawks come down and steal your chickens. Yes, sir, you folks better start treating me and mine real nice.
Them's fighting words.
Yeah. Okay. I hope I did.
That was great. Thank you. I love the word ornery too.
Yeah. My old man eyes, I need a separate pair. Depending on how far away some is, I need to change what I'm looking through. So,
understand. Everyone is more frightened now and decides to leave him alone. In fact, they pretend to be totally okay with everything he just threatened them with, and they're saying, "Oh well, we can't hurt you now because we don't want to hurt Comfort. So when's the wedding? We're gonna throw a picnic for you."
It's funny. Nothing's changed, and in fact, he gave him a 50% get out of jail free card. Hey, if you're wrong, then it's just me and everything's okay. But just, I think the mere confidence and strength by which he addressed them has given them a pause.
Yeah, he seeks peaceful coexistence.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
And
also part of the culture is he's no longer a boy once he's engaged and going to be married. Then he'd be considered a man and
Mhm.
maybe has more footing then.
And he's
Well, I
definitely
mean,
acting like one. I I didn't get any hint, by the way. You know, it's hard to tell, but from the episode, it gave it to me at least. It gave no indication that he was somehow controlling or manipulating her feelings. It seems all natural and organic from her point of view. She's just responding to his increased confidence and behavior.
yeah.
yeah, well, the only thing he does that is questionable is he gaslights her when he lights his cigarette and he strikes them without striking the match, rather.
Mm.
And when
Yeah,
Comfort calls it out, he says, she's imagining things.
You
yeah, that
can't
hadn't happened yet, though. So,
you can't let your
No.
imagination
oh,
get away with
happening
you.
now.
There it is.
Well, I mean, in that particular scene, I was thinking if she had said no, he could take his whole act into Vegas and make a whole thing of it.
That was the one
Yeah.
time where it looked like, all right, he's got to know that's a little unnatural, uh, but he's confident about it. It's almost like he's comfortable with whatever, some of these abilities he has. So that's where, right before the end, you're getting this sense of, ooh, maybe he is a little sinister.
Yeah, maybe he could burn down somebody's barn or send a hawk
Yeah.
after their chickens.
Yeah, well, it is interesting to consider the fact that he is sort of showing off a little bit in front of her. He's now comfortable enough to make a definitive statement that not everything is normal anymore. So it could almost be considered a mean gesture because he knows it's going to make her worry and concerned.
True,
Maybe.
and she's decided to be with him, so we'll see. Well, I mean, there's no wedding yet, so she could still back out. But she doesn't. We
Yeah.
know she doesn't because of the closing narration, which says Jeff and Comfort are still alive today, and their only son is a United States Senator. He's noted as an uncommonly shrewd politician, and some believe he must have gotten his education in the Twilight Zone.
This was
I wonder.
before The Omen, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder who they're talking about there, or even
Yeah.
Stephen King's The Dead Zone.
Yeah, I can't. I can't help thinking of what Vegas would have been like in 1920. Just now.
I mean, it was. I think it was incorporated in like the 1900s, so it would have been
Yeah,
around, but it wouldn't have been the
early.
entertainment town it is today.
Yeah, 1905, but I don't know if they had all the magic acts back then yet or not.
Yeah, maybe not quite.
But it
Son
Yeah,
of
is-
he
a-
would have had a good one.
a son of a firebender.
It is
Yeah.
spookily similar to like The Omen.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if it inspired Stephen King
Finnegan's
at all.
Wake and The Omen.
How big of a Twilight Zone fan was Stephen King?
I think he was pretty big. I mean, it's kind of interesting too that recently, I think the filmmaker Ryan Coogler, who did Sinners, he singled out this episode as inspiration for the movie.
Well, there you are. Thank you. So, but I thought this story could have been a little creepier and scarier, but the punchline at the end that really softens it. There's so much attempt to make it seem like a lighthearted episode, so I'm not sure how to
Well,
feel.
one thing that was kind of cool about it though is it's kind of lighthearted. You feel like, oh, there's nothing really serious here, And then at the end, it's like, okay, she just committed to this marriage, and now this guy's really feeling his power now, so to speak. Uh-oh. So it kind of leaves you with that uh-oh moment.
Yeah, it's a little more. It's like it's an uncertain sort of feeling you get at the end because you're not really sure if this is going to work out too well for you. I mean, it seems that the closing narration that it might end up, in some kind of a positive light. But when we're told about we're kind of still left with this sense of unease, especially with this U.S. senator child that they are able to produce, and so it's like, what happens?
Yeah, and we didn't show the gate, which was the second sort of supernatural indicator. When they walk through the gate, it closes automatically behind them. Stephen King was actually a tremendous Twilight Zone fan. In the acknowledgments of his book Dance Macabre, he described the Twilight Zone as damn near immortal, and even specifically said Christine was inspired by the episode A Thing About Machines.
Oh wow, that's an improvement on A Thing About Machines, because I thought that was a good premise, but it wasn't, the execution was a little lacking. So that's great. He made something of that.
Yeah,
and I do like Christine.
He's not shy about giving very specific credit. The thing when I watch this is that I'm curious if they had leaned into the comedic aspect. I wonder if overall the episode would be a bit more effective. Like, ironically, by making it a little more silly, a little more comical, it would have been more impactful, because I almost think the whole episode there's a lot going on thematically, but it still sort of feels like it's just a big setup for the gags at the very end with the pipe and the gate.
Yeah. It did feel a little bit like, I mean, I feel like maybe for us watching it now in, the 21st century versus what people would have been seeing at the time, maybe it actually is a lot more lighthearted than we're giving credit for. But I think even for the time, I'm kind of thinking that this particular episode would have been, I think it definitely aimed for more of a comical sense than the horror, even though the horror is a little bit more present in the beginning, and then it kind of drops off toward the end, and it kind of becomes, like I said, a little more wholesome than I think we anticipated, even if there is kind of this air of unease.
A wholesome as long as you're nice to him. If you're real nice to him and his, it's a little bit like the episode with Bill Mooney.
Yeah. Well, even then, like, he's a little bit more nefarious and a lot more like, he's more willing to get rid of people for even the slightest provocation, whereas he doesn't seem to be like that. Jeff?
Yeah, he's super creepy. But Philip brings up an interesting point that I think we often forget, which is I don't think people today are any smarter than people back then, but we are a more sophisticated audience vis-a-vis science fiction. If you look back in the 50s, they could hand wave a lot of stuff. It's an atomic rocket and it can go wherever it goes. But just the diet that we've had in terms of that genre, we are a much more sophisticated audience, and so you really do kind of need to put yourself back. I'm thinking about when I was a very young kid in the 60s. I think this would probably land a lot different. Although this particular one I can't remember. I remember everything about the next one we're doing when I first saw it. As a child.
No question about that one.
We'll get there, and we will get to the next one soon. I want to make sure to go through what was added to the chat about this episode before we move on officially. Gavin said this episode is dark. Let's get to the people or food episode. It's a great day for demonic reanimation of the dead with a side of cannibalism, says PG. Yes, those two episodes do kind of go together in that way. Actually, wow, James considered enjoyed this episode more. See, there are people if you haven't.
There's a lot going on here. It sort of taps into the existential fear of how death or trauma can fundamentally change a person and how it's going to be accepted by those around you. Even though, as I said before, it seemed to make him a better person in many ways. It increased the perception of him as some kind of monster, and the whole mob mentality, fear and paranoia. There's a lot going on in here.
Oh yeah.
But as long as you're nice to him, he's probably going to be a productive member of society, especially with the powers he has and the strength and everything.
But he won't wish you to a cornfield.
No, he's not.
That's where something.
Yeah, that's where he's different. His powers. He's not going to do anything as long as you're nice to him. So, and of course, the kid in It's a Good Life is way different. He will.
There are plenty of baddies that will be bad regardless of how you're treating them.
I mean, he was only dead 3 days. So over the course of a long weekend, they were all like, "Well, he's dead. Moving on."
Hey, times were harder back then.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is even before
Uh,
the Great Depression too. So
Yeah, but like infant mortality was much higher back then. You just sort of
yeah.
yeah, that's what happens. Move along, time to the
Let's
next
go make
kid.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Just
Did you see those parents? They're not making anymore.
What?
James Caserta says every 7 years we become a completely new person. Yeah, that's right. All of our skin sheds completely after
Yeah.
7 years.
Or with each trip through the transporter.
Mm.
Oh no. That's another question.
Arguably.
That is arguable. I don't believe it. You die every time you go in the transporter, but that is a different live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as
Goes back to
nerds,
Star
we've
Trek all the
spent.
time.
Yeah, any nerd worth their salt has spent many a night, discussing and arguing over that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it really boils down to if you consider conscious to be 100% physical in the brain.
No,
Yeah,
I think
and that'll be where we start
That
our
would be a
debate.
great discussion.
no, I think it
We'll get there.
boils down to.
Oh no.
I think it boils down to a conceit to save money on the budget turned into the biggest existential question of our age. So
Yes,
Yeah.
that's also true. They didn't have the money to make shuttlecrafts right away, and even when they did, they didn't have the money to use them every episode.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, isn't it in the script is one of those valid reasons.
I was very young when Star Trek first aired, and I can say I still remember my favorite episodes were when we got to see a shuttlecraft on screen. I don't know why, but just
Yeah.
the little guy flying around, the little kid version of Istaphobos was very excited at that.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't do the Battlestar Galactica thing where they would just reuse footage and then just save money there. They did it already with the Ultimate Computer. They would just like copy and paste 3 other Enterprises and then maybe kind of doctor a little bit of the decal work. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's possible.
They did some of those of like the Enterprise, transversing the screen. But I also think Roddenberry was very fastidious about making sure each episode didn't look reused.
Oh, I
There's also
didn't
ways you can ride
realize he did
around it
that.
too. I mean, like
That's
they're
cool.
already on the planet. They don't have to go down. They don't have to
Yeah.
transport.
So Kerwin is here. Hello, Kerwin. They said, "Cool show. Thank you, Kerwin."
No, he's talking about
Good
the
to meet you.
Twilight Zone episode, not us.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think he is talking about us.
We
Or
got
the
to learn our
Twilight
place.
All right.
It always starts and ends with Star Trek, though.
Well,
Yep.
and the
Can't
Twilight
escape
Zone
them.
is cooler than us, definitely. That doctor is so lazy, he never finishes the pickles. He licks them, takes a few bites, put them back in the barrel. The rest of the town gets pickles from another barrel. I don't know where you got this from, Phantom Outsider, but it sounds like a thing. This is the doctor's barrel of pickles.
Don't start rumors.
Well, he was in a pickle.
I do want to point out that back in the days when we were doing Star Trek, Phantom Outsider had some of the best, most insightful mini reviews that I remember coming up on the screen, and I've always appreciated his insights. So
Yes.
I'm
Phantom
going to take his
Outsider.
pickle stuff very seriously.
Yeah,
would.
he's a
It's
treasure.
It's a good thing to take seriously.
Yeah, you don't want your pickles pre-licked.
Apex
Well, it depends.
Comics. Hello. Yeah, okay. I'm not touching that one. Let's step right over that and find another chat to read. That's why women are so into Gavin. If you're doing nothing, can't be evil. Wait, what? Oh,
I think he was
Yoda
referring
said
to like the scene
evil
where he was like
was
we were
busy.
talking about how women like bad boys. That thing. That's what I think he's referring to.
Oh, okay. Mob Justice FKHC 2005 says to serve man, the story of Soylent Green.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah, that's another good one.
Ew, do you think eventually they're also going to serve No. No.
Hey, Jill,
Maybe.
is it a coincidence that we're doing To Serve Man on the eve of Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, shoot, no.
That's a great coincidence.
Because
It is a coincidence. Because I do these in order, in broadcast order, so I'm not doing in any particular order.
Well, I would be lying if I said I never asked my girlfriend to wear cranberry sauce. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
Why am I craving
Whoa.
cranberry sauce now?
So you're like that old SNL skit. With the food. Jill better start using bigger fonts. Oh, I need bigger fonts. I don't know how to do that yet. What does Jeff need with the starship?
Asking the important questions here. Yeah. What does God need with a starship? Yeah.
Yes.
What does God need with a starship?
Yes. I actually have that here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh no, see, people fell out. I knew that would happen to somebody. So it
Of course, it
finally
had to be me.
did.
It's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay to be me.
it is. It's okay.
What does God need with a starship?
It's a good line in a watchable film.
It is. I like the rocket boots.
Yeah.
One day he'll be a sheriff. He'll be the most powerful sheriff in Hazard County. They're like, those old Oregon boys, they are getting into heaps of trouble.
They're up to no good again.
The glove cleaner is here. Hello to the glove cleaner, TZ61. Am I in time for dinner? Yes, you are. You perfectly. I don't know how you perfectly timed it to arrive. We're just about to start talking about the serve man in just a minute. But first, we have to say hello to Tiger Stripes. And she says, X-Files episode. Seriously, Tiger? That looks like somebody's password. RM9SBG93DX.
Yeah, that's an episode of one of the newer seasons.
Is the ultimate continuation of the Twilight Zone episode, A Thing About Machines. She also says infant mortality is why historically people only live to 40. It averages out. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Tiger,
Lives the
don't tell me
rival
that
age of
right
30.
now. I'm going to turn 40 in a few days. Don't do this to me.
Oh no. Happy
Yeah,
early birthday.
Ramses the second made it to nearly 90.
Phantom Outsider says, wanted to say at one point.
Sorry.
No,
ahead.
that's okay. I mean, so did Socrates, but it doesn't guarantee my life. So wanted to say at one point, Best was roommates with Adam West. Oh, James Best was roommates with Adam West and was an unnamed crewman in Forbidden Planet and was cast as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane after his friend Clint Eastwood told producers he's cover insuring Best personally, and he had one heart attack before Dukes of Hazzard. Wow. I didn't know all that. Thank you, Phantom. I didn't realize he was on Forbidden Planet. Rock on. I love that. That's here.
I think that's why he looks familiar to me. I've seen that movie so many times that I can actually picture all the faces of the uncredited cast. And I really do think that's kind of where I recognize it from.
Yeah, Forbidden Planet's great.
Yeah.
And Tiger also says, happy Thanksgiving all. Yeah, I do have a review on Forbidden Planet. Love it too.
Yeah, we even did that on Earworms way back in the day.
I'll
A
check it
special
out.
Twilight Zone Thanksgiving episode to serve, man. So let's get started on that. First, we got to finish the credits for the last episode. All of these lovely actors: John Lormer, It was good to see him. But we're moving on. Tommy Morgan music. Yeah, the music was funny in this episode. Anyway, let's move on. To Serve Man first aired on March 2nd, 1962. And the story by
30 years
credit.
before I was born.
Oh, was that your birthday?
Well, March 5th, 1992, but it's like almost pretty close.
Wow. The story by credit is by Damon Knight, and the teleplay was written by Rod Serling. It was directed by Richard L. Baer. And this is, of course, adapted from the short story of the same name by Damon Knight. This is from The Companion by Mark Scott Zicree, which is included in the Best of Damon Knight from 1976. To Serve Man has one of the most shocking punchlines of any episode, yes. Damon Knight To Serve Man was written in 1950 when I was living in Greenwich Village. This is Damon Knight. And my unhappy first marriage was breaking up. I wrote it in one afternoon while my wife was out with another man.
Ouch.
I thought that was interesting.
I think it's a bit of a disservice to describe the twist as a punchline. I mean,
Yeah, it was a little weird word there.
Yeah, I get it. It's definitely a twist, but more on the level of like The Sixth Sense than, Ghostbusters. So
Yeah, I think the last episode's twist was a punchline. Like the last episode's closing narration was a punchline. That was a joke. Oh, and this supernatural fellow gave birth to was part of, to the next politician, the next great politician. That's funny. But this is more of a horror aspect. So I agree that punchline might not have been the best word for
this
Mark
is more
Scott,
of a
but we
gut
like him.
punch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame nobody smokes now. It's going to make the demons in politics a lot harder to spot. Oh, wait. No, it won't.
I mean, true. Now they vape.
Night.
I have the same alarm on my phone.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I just noticed, all the smoking when you go back and watch. I've been watching a lot of old TV shows and this, and just like, this episode opens up with a guy smoking in bed, which you're not supposed to do.
It was like a ritual.
Yeah, Rod Serling, and almost most of the opening credits, opening narrations, he has a cigarette.
Well, I noticed at the end of this one, at the end of To Serve Man, he doesn't smoke, but you could see his right hand laying across like a bench he's sitting on, and the fingers are arranged in such a way he could be holding one, but there isn't one there. He's so used to it.
Wow. Yeah. Some people do get, so you feel like you have a cigarette even if you don't. And phantom cigarettes. So, but this, the short story actually finally got a Hugo in 2001, right before Damon Knight passed away.
Wow.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
A little bit delayed, but I'll take it.
Yeah, better than nothing. Better than never. Better late than never. That's it.
Yeah.
Cliche. Yep. So we're examining Mr. Chambers. He's in some kind of prison, refusing his meal. And instead of smoking a cigarette, he stomps it on the ground, and he's told to dispose of it properly. And so I have only a few videos for this. I didn't have time to clip a bunch, but I have a few. Oh no. See, I knew that was going to happen. It's just a thing. I'm sorry, Phil.
Doesn't like me.
It just doesn't like you, I guess.
Yeah. I don't normally see that on StreamYards. I wonder if it's a function of something else in conjunction with what you're doing.
I don't know. I don't know if I have anything that's causing that to happen.
This is a safety measure.
I should take a flying jump at the moon.
Kindly repeat request.
All right. As somebody who was mostly sentient during this time period, although very young, I don't ever recall that expression being in common use, take a flying jump at the moon. There were similar expressions that I won't repeat, but I think they made that up for this.
Yeah.
There's
good.
one other episode that uses it, so I think it's something that Serling uses, but I don't know how prevailing it was
Yeah,
across
and
the nation.
I'm just one person. It could be in broad use over the entire rest of the country, just not regionally where I'm from. But I've just never heard it anywhere else. Thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I think so too, and I just thought it was of its time, but now I'm thinking it's even smaller than that. It's of a very particular region where
Yeah,
Serling lived.
and he is on a spaceship, so it's not inappropriate.
Yes, and he goes to the sink. He's told to conserve water.
I do love how the vanity works in this thing, though. That's kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't want to be eaten, but I wouldn't mind having one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do make their food very comfortable. So in the short story, his name is really Peter, but here it's Michael Chambers.
I don't know.
And this
He's
is
not exactly free range.
Oh, yeah. Don't let your food smoke. It really makes gives the meat a gamey flavor.
True. He is organic, though. That's 100% organic.
Yes, but at the same time, you don't want your food to get stressed out because then it's going to get tough. So it's a matter of one or the other.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to deal with gaminess and toughness and the stress and sickness from withdrawal. Oh, I'm getting too serious about this.
It's amazing how flippantly we joke about cannibalism, or I guess technically we wouldn't be cannibalism because
Well, the holidays are coming up.
Well, the Canamites aren't humans, so they're not cannibals.
Right,
Only
they're
if
not.
their food ate food. Yeah, but it's pretty dreary when you think about it.
So
Well,
he
eating
Chambers.
primate. Sorry. I
Oh
was
yeah,
just gonna
no, I
say
don't want
that
to eat any
eating-
other primates either.
Yeah, eating primates is pretty much frowned upon. So it's not like
Yeah, there are a few countries that'll eat monkeys. I don't know which
oh,
ones.
that's true. Yeah, Indiana Jones and all that.
Yeah, monkey brains. Yeah.
Lloyd Wolf Bachner. So he's a Canadian actor. He plays our Michael Chambers here. He played Mayor Hamilton in Batman the Animated Series. All right. So then they refused to answer. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I mean he's been in some interesting stuff, all of the earlier shows, but he was in the Naked Gun 2.5, 2, and I think he was in that old Superboy TV show back from the 80s. And he has a very familiar face to me. He was like, the Love Boat, Magnum PI, the Fall Guy, the A-Team, all of those Fantasy Island, all of those shows. He was, he had a fairly let's see. Yeah, he has 220 IMDb acting credits. So
And he was also the Commandant in Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, he was also in Hogan's Heroes, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nice.
I'm not solid on that yet, but I was looking up. Yes, he played Captain Roberts, and in Hogan's Heroes.
Very nice. And let me see if there's anything just about him for now. James Caserta said I had monkey brains for lunch. I don't believe it.
I find it more of a breakfast food myself. So.
Oh, right. It comes in a bowl.
Yeah, true.
They refuse to answer what time it is because they say, oh, we don't keep chronology here in space or anything. But then he says, what time is it on Earth? And they say noon. But there are
like,
well over 24.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They were just assuming he wanted to know from his time zone. Probably East Coast because he worked for the government, probably near DC.
Maybe they're wise enough to do that.
There was a 1960s show called Hong Kong, starring Rod Taylor. It was about a journalist in Hong Kong. Um, it was kind of an interesting show. It's probably, I don't know if you can find it anywhere, but Bachner was actually a star on that one. He was he got second billing under Rod Taylor as the captain, I guess, of the investigations unit. So
Oh, nice.
there, I'm finding.
This-
No, I'm finding a lot of treasures in old TV shows because there's so little for me that I'm interested in watching that's new. I've been going back and watching a lot of old stuff, and I'm quite surprised at like the quality of the storytelling and the writing. It really just stands out. And so some shows I remember from being a kid, others I'm discovering because I'm just, watching shows and looking and following the careers of people. So it's just one of those things, but he has a familiar face, and I think, pretty easily recognizable here. So.
Mhm.
True, and maybe I should look into his career. That might be fun, watching some things that he's in.
Yeah, he
be a
had
good-
several starring roles on regular series in the 50s and 60s, like not just a one episode thing, but he was.
He was a recurring character, very prolific actor.
Yeah, there was an anthology series that was like drama, romance, adventure, and mystery called Encounter. It was 1952, made in Canada. That was he was a regular on that.
Nice. So we have to say goodbye to Brogu. So long, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the stream and enjoy your Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Yeah, you
This
as well. Take it
is
easy.
the way.
Bye, Brogu. Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care.
Yes, enjoy your eggs. Hopefully there are deviled eggs at your Thanksgiving.
But only
good.
2 of them.
So before we get to the opening narration, we get lots of inner dialogue from Mr. Chambers that starts here as he lights another cigarette. You have to be patient with me because I like to read the narration on the Twilight Zone. But this has to be an episode with the most narration ever. Maybe I won't read all of it. We'll see how it feels.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. But I will at least read this one in full. This is the way nightmares begin, or perhaps end. Very simple, direct, unadorned, incredible, and yet so terribly real that even while they're happening, we live with them and digest them and assimilate them. And if it's 12 o'clock noon, that's what you preoccupy yourself with. You don't think about 12 noon on the next day or the day after that. But that's what we should have been thinking about tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. We were preoccupied with the hands on a clock when we should have been checking off a calendar. So then we get different scene setting changes. We see Manhattan in New York City.
Look at that New York street. I mean, wouldn't you love to be there when it looked like that? Just walking. I mean, it's amazing to me.
Yes, me too. That would be wonderful. I went to New York City when I was 12 years old, and I'm sure it's way different even now compared to then.
Well, it would be wall-to-wall automobiles instead of, mostly people walking in the streets and just reading the signs, the Windsor Cafe. A little bit, I'm just fascinated at what cities used to look like and how they function.
Yeah. You figure you might just bump into Vito Corleone.
Ooh. So
Yeah, I've never been, but it seems like I like the aesthetic.
Michael Chambers continues his narration. It was an April day, and it was noon then too, and people walked and drove and bought and sold and fretted and laughed. And so then I've cut the narration again, and we change the scene again. We're still in New York City, but now we see the United Nations building. And I do like all this setup. And he continues to say, the world went on as much as it had been going, with the tentative tiptoeing alongside a precipice of crisis. There was Berlin to worry about, and Indochina and Algeria and all the other myriad problems, major and minor, that somehow had lost their incisive edge of horror because we were so familiar with them. And so now we finally see the arrival of the alien spacecraft, which is this flying saucer footage was borrowed from the 1951 motion picture, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there's 3 different movies that they crib flying saucer footage from.
True story, yes. Well, and the Twilight Zone is famous for reusing the Forbidden Planet saucer. So that does get used later.
Mhm.
And
We bought a model of that once. It was pretty cool. It's too big.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
But you had to get rid of it? Too bad.
No, it's still there. It's just really big.
Oh, good. Oh, you just regret. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
It's so big that like it's hard to put it places. I've even considered like trying to hang it someplace, and it's literally too big.
Fishing pole
Thanksgiving
wire.
centerpiece.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's on a
oh,
home
yeah.
entertainment center now, but it's just like it really is. It's like the same size. Like if you watch that one, I'm forgetting the name of it now. Damn.
The Invaders.
Yeah, it's where she's like beating the hell out of it, and it's like it's about that big.
Hanging from the ceiling is often the best place for oversized memorabilia, by the way. It really keeps it out of the way.
Yeah, I just don't know how to get it into the popcorn ceiling shit.
Yeah. You know,
That would be
I
cool.
do want to point out that for such an exposition heavy episode that is full of narration and then switches to a real claustrophobic feeling, it really works out well. The episode to me still flies by after repeated viewings, and I just find it endlessly interesting.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, see, I would think on the face of it that something this full, this is the most narration heavy episode of the Twilight Zone ever. And it is still a thrill to watch because they make it feel so real.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it happened. That's when we first heard that they had come. That's when we should have prepared ourselves for any eventuality, but we didn't. So, and then we're seeing inside the United Nations where they're dealing with the alien arrival as Chambers continues to narrate. Instead, we milled around like frightened farm animals, looking for formulas and other images, while the Secretary General of the United Nations made the first official announcement of the arrival of creatures from outer space.
Farm animals.
We learn, yes, they are farm animals, right? That there's some clues. Some clues.
The irony being that he wasn't one of those wallowing in fear. He was actually quite optimistic about the whole situation.
He was. He's a fanboy of the Canamits, as they're called. The aliens are called Canamits.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear from the Secretary General about when and where the aliens landed in Newark, New Jersey. However, they're not the only ones. Of course.
It's funny. There's something about that. Like, that's near New Brunswick. And, like, that whole area, it gets referenced over and over again. Like,
I'm kind of wondering if it's I think it's a reference to the possible and oblique reference to the radio show that Orson Welles did in the 30s. I think that's
believe
where,
so. Yeah, like in also in what is it, Buckaroo Banzai?
Yeah, man, same thing. Yeah.
Are you ready for an interesting tidbit here?
Oh yeah.
Please.
The word Canamit in the Longo dialect of the Philippines means tasty.
I love it.
Oh, that's clever. Because it's changed from, I forget what it was in the original short story, but it was slightly different in the short story. So they changed it here to give it extra meaning. Interesting.
Give it extra flavor, would you say?
It could be a coincidence, but, I like to think, especially it being the Twilight Zone, that it isn't.
Yeah, I think so. So they've also appeared in the Soviet Union, in Norway, the southern coast of France, just outside of Rio de Janeiro, and several others. So they make this visit by these aliens seem more international. The whole world is in on it.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like the Kennements might be tasty themselves, since that's what their name means.
Well, maybe they're tasty
Oh.
for somebody else that we haven't met either.
Yeah, the food
Oh, do you
chain
think
keeps
the
going up and up.
humans? Do you think the humans can turn tables if they can find a nuke somewhere? Well,
Yeah, this initial rollout is very similar to the beginning of the Arthur C. Clarke book, Childhood's End, by the
Yep.
way. That was published about a
forget.
decade before.
Yeah, I thought that's what happened. I mean, the other thing too, I'm wondering how much of this V borrowed in the 1980s.
Oh, all of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
really.
they went their own way with it, obviously.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the starting point is definitely the same.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's really, you think about it, there's like two obvious ways to go. One single ship going to one place, or just, rolling them all out there. So
Yeah, the only difference I think between that and this is that at least in V they try to fight back, but
yeah,
you only
we
able
don't-
to do so much in 30 minutes.
yeah, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So we don't know what happens after this thing is revealed. I don't think everybody's gonna go down quietly at this point.
Yeah,
At that
other than
point.
being 9 feet tall, I don't really see anything special about these guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could take them.
they actually seem,
Kidding.
and one of the creepy aspects that they seem very laconic and slow moving. And, but, as I said, Ted Cassidy played Ruck in Star Trek, but he does look a lot like Richard Keel. And when you just look at him, I just see him like picking up somebody with one hand and throwing him across the room. Like, so, but maybe they're actually, quite frail. Who knows? But
Oh, we've got Kimberly Ann Hart's in the chat. Hello, Kimberly. Also in the chat is David Jones. Phantom Outsider says they can't eat me. I'm extremely toxic to all organic life, and my high acidity level deters machines as well. Oh, that could be a thing. Some people might try to make themselves taste terrible to the Canamits.
yeah, they can still use you as a garnish though. So don't think you're safe.
Oh no.
Well, they got to take a bite out of you before they even know.
Just about. I remember that Indiana Jones scene where they're eating monkey brains. Yes, Brooke. Oh, but
Yeah.
Brooke is left. But yes. And let's see. I'm just checking the chat to make sure I don't miss anything, because sometimes the chat has something amazing in it. You guys say so many wonderful things. Finding yourself on the menu and not being at the top of the food chain. Yeah. Yeah. And what a change that is. Are you going to do the rebooted Twilight Zones? Maybe someday, but I don't know when. Because I'm actually might go back to Star Trek after this. I'm not sure.
There's the Outer Limits.
Yes, the Outer Limits too. But I like to switch things up for my Tuesday show, so we'll see what happens. So he wants everyone, the Secretary General wants everyone to presume that the aliens are not hostile because they've not done anything wrong yet. So let's just hear them out. And they just want to know what the aliens look like. And they're in luck. A representative is on his way to show them what they look like. And this is a great entrance. Just seeing the shadow is very intimidating. We don't even get to see the alien at first except for his back. And so all you get a sense of is how tall he is and how large he is. And then we get our opening narration finally. Even though I've been doing a lot of narrating already. So where's Rod? Gotta find him. There he is. Respectfully submitted for your perusal. A Canamit. Height, a little over 9 feet. Weight, in the neighborhood of 350 pounds. Origin, unknown. Motives, therein hangs the tale. For in just a moment, we're going to ask you to shake hands, figuratively, with a Christopher Columbus from another galaxy and another time. This is the Twilight Zone.
To put it lightly.
Christopher
and
Columbus.
Christopher Columbus. Yes, that's another clue.
Well, not exactly for eating.
True. I don't think Christopher Columbus ate anybody, but he wasn't very nice, though.
Queen
Well, the
Isabella
contact
of
between
Spain
both wasn't
is
very good.
feeling a little bit hungry right now.
So this episode had a rough cut, and that Serling was disappointed in. But it gets better. But I'd never seen this rough cut, but apparently it was so bad because he described it as piss poor with a combination of horrible direction and faithless script. And we're reshooting some scenes, and it is my hope that we can at least come within a few hundred yards of your great story, he said to Damon Knight, which is great because he saw that there was something missing and they reworked it. And they did a major rehaul of what they filmed. And they added footage, they rewrote the Canamit's dialogue, re-recorded the alien's voice, incorporated stock footage and film and additional scenes. So part of the reason this is such a great classic episode is because Serling took the storytelling so very seriously and made sure that each episode was really good, especially this one.
You know, that's just one more story I hear about what a great guy he was. I mean, for somebody who basically built a career on some pretty creepy, entertainment, but is also thoughtful. Apparently, whenever I read anything about him, he was supposedly just this really good person who everybody around liked him and had all the qualities you would want. So I don't know, when I hear that, it's just, again, somebody has a lot of attention to detail, want to make sure that everything he does is as good as it can be. I know in the also really famous Mars episode, he was never satisfied with the makeup effect on the third eye, but eventually, they had to they had to broadcast it anyway. But I know it was never good enough for him. He was always dissatisfied with the final effect. But what a fantastic episode too that one was.
That one was a good one. They did a good job with the multiple arms though, with the other guy right behind him doing the arms.
Yeah, and I didn't think the eye was that bad, given for the time. But it just goes to show, I wouldn't say perfectionist. He's just really determined to make it good.
Yes, and that's the kind of dedication you want in somebody taking science fiction seriously. Twilight Zone and Star Trek were among the first to take it seriously, which is great. So they speak to Earthlings. They speak to the Earthlings. They use telepathy, but of course humans can't do telepathy, so they broadcast their voice mechanically through a machine. And they immediately know our language, but it takes us a long while to decipher theirs. And that's the whole crux of the episode. But first, this representative claims that they're there in peace. We come in peace. That's a...
Yeah, look at that face. That's just beautiful. And
yeah.
I mean, I would definitely say lethargy rather than peace, but he's just... I don't know if he's acting or not, man, but the final effect is perfect.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most trustworthy face.
No.
It's kind of like, we want to come here to help you out. Yeah.
He's
We're
famished.
gonna eat you a little bit.
Yeah, he looks pretty hungry.
He also has two black eyes, or he's looking for raccoons. It's sort of hard to tell. I don't know if his wife is unhappy with him or he's protecting a secret identity. I can't tell.
Oh, I haven't seen any females of this alien species, so you could be correct. Maybe they're even bigger and meaner.
Yeah. He either got beat up or he's, wearing a Green Lantern mask is my,
So they're here to help Earthlings as much as possible. They use a lot of flowery language to do this, so all the dialogue is great in this episode. I could sit here and read the entire script, and nobody would complain. But I'm gonna avoid that as much as I can. But there's a
Well,
little bit in. There's also I also read another book called "Unlocking the Door to a Television Classic" by Grams Martin Jr. And he says William Tuttle created the look of the Canaanites, attempting to follow Sterling's description. We are reminded of his size and his relationship to other objects like chairs and tables and ashtrays. And the facial description was a little bit different. While humanoid in general appearance, it's almost as if someone had been sculpting it and left the job prematurely. He has two eyes, very wide apart, a small opening that passes for a nose, and a tiny, almost imperceptible circular hole that passes for a mouth. So he does seem to have a more normal human-looking face, except
Yeah.
for the head and the
Yeah, I
dark
think
circle.
the original was probably closer to the gray kind of look, the gray alien look, and here they humanized it a bit.
Yes. Well, it's a little easier.
Yeah, there's a shot where he's with Susan Cummings and he is just towering over her. Like,
Which helps that he really does tower over everybody because
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he's really
Yeah.
that tall.
Really good sense of scale.
And with movie magic, you can make him even taller if you want.
Yeah. I don't know. They don't show the feet, so I don't know if anybody's using an apple or something, but it is just, he looks about 3 feet taller than she is, and he very well may be.
True. So then we cut back to Mr. Chambers' narration, where we see people watching the meeting on TV outside of a shop where I guess people used to watch TV outside of shops. And oh yeah, in the short story, the Canaanites were supposed to look something like pigs, something like people, but of course they couldn't do that for back then. This kind of story, even Damon Knight was like, if you tried to do that, this would have looked like they would have looked like they were from a Disney movie. So I'm glad they didn't actually make my pig people.
Yeah.
Well, there is another classic Twilight Zone episode where they have a pig-like appearance.
Well, they
It's
saved
true.
that for another episode. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it worked. So
they did. They did. That's true. And I love that one. In truth, well, no,
Pigs in
that's Star Trek.
space.
Ellie Mae Clampett.
Oh, what is that episode where that lady is beautiful, but everybody thinks she's ugly?
Eye of the Beholder, I think.
That's
Yeah, I think
it.
that might be
Eye of
right.
the Beholder. Thank you.
But they are definitely piggy looking, but it's a little more horrific. I don't think it would have worked as well for this as this, what they ended up with, I think is better.
Yeah, and that's what Phantom Outsider says. They didn't go with the pig because of the Eye of the Beholder, but I wouldn't have complained if they just had like a pig snout. So we see this alien as if we're watching it on our TV inside whatever our viewing screen is. So I like this. This gives a real creepy vibe. It makes it a little more like real, as if we're watching the news, like when Orson Welles gave the radio broadcast of War of the World. And some of this episode feels like that. And it kind of gives a primal suggestion that, hey, what if this is really how it goes when we find out we're not alone? And so we have Richard Dawson Keel was, of course, everybody's been talking about Jaws from from James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fun.
He's so young here too. Wow. Like,
I saw him at a convention once. I didn't get a chance to meet him. I kind of regret that.
And of course, his extreme height is a result of his growth hormone not having an excess of the human growth hormone. He's done other stuff. So Mr. Chambers continues his narration. Perhaps you watched this initial questioning. Most people on Earth did. On television sets, radios, shortwave, surely some of the questions asked by your representatives must have been identical to a few of your own because as a race, we're unaccustomed to charity. Brutality is a far more universal language to us than an expression of friendship from outer space. So they have these meetings at the UN office. It's a great way to show that the whole world is involved and it all feels very official. The alien agrees to being interrogated, where he answers, "Hey, I'm here to help." And different representatives get to ask questions.
Yeah, and I like the answers. Like when he says what we would do to help. It's interesting stuff, like the making the soil more fertile. It's like to keep your livestock well fed, and then the protection of the different countries, the shields to protect the countries, force fields are there to keep your livestock from killing each other off, so you have an abundant supply.
Yeah, we're basically giving you fertilizer and fences. So, and antibiotics. Keep you healthy, keep you separated, and keep you well fed.
And complacent. Now they're happy to not be fighting with each other, and in yes, you could very much see the force fields acting like fencing for whatever livestock you're taking care of, your new cattle.
What have the Kennemans ever done for us?
Well,
they also
interestingly enough, we see now that the less overt hostilities going on with people, the less complacent they seem to get, and they actually go looking for problems and things to have grievance about. So, maybe it's better they let their food do a little fighting. Star Trek royalty time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so of course the alien also talks about a new power source. So they're also keeping their humans happy with power, and their food can be comfortable before they eat them. And so the Soviet representative gets the next question, and so, oh goodness, I had it.
He's more suspicious.
Oh yeah, I know where I put it. I'm a little mixed up on my notes. And this is Theodore Marcuse. And yes, we've got more Star Trek.
Yes, Kobor. And he had recently come up on another stream, and I'll be darned if I can remember what movie. He died pretty early, so it's not like I think maybe 67 or 68. So we're on movies of the early 80s now, but I know he came up in something and I can't remember, but very distinctive character actor there.
Yes, he was the little pipe cleaner aliens from Catspaw. Yeah, Korab. Yeah. That's right. There it is. Yeah, they were all very interested in becoming a humanoid in that episode. But then they died suddenly at the end. One time my mom helped me make some Halloween decorations, and she made me Catspaw. She made me these little pipe cleaner guys. I got them somewhere. Anyway, let me see where I was. I think I got all my notes mixed up.
That's funny. I don't think I've ever heard them described as pipe cleaner aliens. I may have forgotten, but that's a very apt description. They looked very spindly and squeaky and
And yeah, I've always seen them that way. Let's see. Let me find power.
He did. He was also in Hogan's Heroes and the Beverly Hillbillies and Wild Wild West. Man from U.N.C.L.E., which might be where we were talking about in the Invaders too, and Time Tunnel. So, he was also in in an episode of the Monkees.
Oh boy.
Very cool.
So yeah, it
That's
looks
funny.
like he passed away in 1967. So he was only 47 years old.
Yeah, that's too young.
Hmm.
And then the aliens say this. Oh wait, I also had this one. Sure, that's.
We can show you, for example, how to add a certain very cheap nitrate to the soil and end famine on Earth for good and all.
Mm-hmm.
We ask only that you trust us. Only that you simply trust us.
Funny that he would just leave it there.
Yeah.
It is funny. As if they're just so arrogant, I suppose, to think that it doesn't matter if we leave this book here and they find out. We've got them already.
Well, there is a school of thought that says sometimes there's like some sort of ethic where they have to leave a little bit of opening for you to find out the truth. But if you don't take advantage of finding that opening, then you get what you deserve, in their opinion.
Oh, is that their way of giving them a chance?
Well, I'm just kind of deriving this from other things in the school of thought that some of the dark Luciferians think that way. In their case, it's more of like, I don't know, some sort of pact or some sort of agreement in their belief system that, no, we could take advantage of people, but you got to leave a little bit of truth there just to give them a chance. And if they don't find it, they deserve it, so to speak. But I don't know. It's just one of my thoughts, and I draw parallels too many places sometimes. So please carry on.
Well, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think they
think
were
it's
that
interesting.
ethical because they did find out and they still pushed the guy on the ship and they presumably captured her. So, yeah, I don't think that's what's happening here, even though I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was drawing parallels to other things, but yeah, for this story, I don't know. It's hard to say. Why does he just leave it there?
Yeah, because they're risking them actually figuring it out before they can dismantle everybody's nuclear warheads and all of the military that they get disbanded later on in the episode.
Yeah.
So maybe it is they're throwing them just one bone and they and humanity clearly failed.
I mean, throwing them a bone to eat.
And it has been much discussed about this episode. A language is not really a code. There really aren't the kind of parallels. And if that's the only sample of their language, there would be no possibility of them being able to translate it because it's not as simple as figuring out a code that is an encryption of a known language. It just
That's
could be
true.
anything.
That's true. That's why in the actual short story, they're given a brief kind of dictionary that the aliens actually give them a Canomant dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they would need some kind of Rosetta Stone to have any chance to change.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's a different profession, but I think at the same time, linguists would be lost too because there's no history.
Yeah,
They don't know the
exactly.
history of
But
the planet.
I'm willing to be generous and lend the idea that off screen there were other samples of work, and they did find a starting point by which they could translate.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a decoder ring provided at some point.
Yeah, they typed it into ChatPD and it said, "Go ahead, it's all cool. Visit the planet, have fun."
Right. They put it in the cereal, the decoder ring.
Yeah, no, they probably were like, make sure you bathe in the oil bath over here first.
Mhm.
The vegetable oil
goodness.
bath is good.
Yeah, it looks very Greek with a few additional symbols from like old video games.
So we get more narration. You ready for more narration? That was what we all thought. It was the age of Santa Claus. Only these Kris Kringle came without white whiskers and rosy cheeks and twinkling eyes. They were 9 feet tall enigmas who descended on us like locusts. But nobody was counting or worrying, except perhaps a few professionals whose job it was to second guess. In a sense, I was one of these, a decoding specialist for the United States government, and this is where I got into the act. So, Michael Chambers is finally in the story. Finally,
Mm-hmm.
as we haven't seen him since he was in his cell. Let's see. Let me see what the chat's been up to. It ain't a proper UN assembly unless the Soviet premier bangs his shoe on the Pontium.
We will bury you.
TZ, the glove cleaner says maybe Jill would do now and again. That one season show that I seem to remember liking at the time. I've never seen Now and Again. Is that anthology? Yeah.
No, I think it's so there's a show called Here and Again and then Now and Again, and I often get them confused. But if it's the science fiction one, it's about you can tell me if I'm right. It's about an old guy. I think he dies of a heart attack, but they bring him back to life as a young man with like enhanced strength, and they use him as an agent. I don't know if that's what he's talking about or not.
Oh, interesting. Okay. No, I didn't know about that. Oh no! Glove cleaner's been baked. Hopefully not by the Canamints. All right, so the ship he came in was already up on blocks, and if there was an eBay in the 50s, the parts would already be on it. Oh, because it's in New Jersey. Okay, thank you, Phantom. Greek Letters Larson says, remember the wise instructions found in the Codex. Aster. Suffer not the alien to live. Oiler Greg says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. It almost feels strange that it's tomorrow. I've got to buy the.
Yeah.
I've got to make a side.
Every year it gets quicker and quicker. I love the fall and all.
Yeah, it really does.
Which Eye of the Beholder? The game, the song, the movie, the Twilight Zone episode. So humans are basically the turkeys on this planet. Well, yeah.
Maybe they came to Earth to celebrate their own version of that.
That was the show. I kind of got it right. Parts of it wrong. They put the old man's brain in an artificial body of a young guy, and they use him like as a secret agent. But he's still like he goes back. He goes back and he meets his wife, who believes her older husband is dead, and he's still trying to have a relationship. It was a fairly interesting show. I remember I watched the entire season. I liked it.
The old guy was John Goodman, and he was hit by a train after falling onto subway tracks. Okay.
Yeah,
Aired
and the wife.
1999.
The wife was a very popular actress too. Let's see. So Now and Again is the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
after
and so go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. After a subway accident, a man awakes with a brain in his new body, but the successful experiment means that he must give up his past and his family. And it was Margaret Collin, I think, was the wife. It was a good show from what I can remember. And Eric Close starred in it, and Dennis Haysbert. And Eric Close, didn't he do another like a? He also did like a show with Alien Hunters.
Yeah, Dark Skies.
Dark Skies, yeah. So
that's a favorite.
Yeah, it's worth checking out anyway. I don't think there's enough coming out now that would, consume all your time.
And yeah, that's definitely science fiction because it's still science fiction. We still can't do brain transplants, and fortunately, that guy in that TV show did not get Abby normal.
Well, unfortunately not.
Oh, brain transplant.
So Mr. Chambers is explaining to his superiors that it took a year to crack the Japanese code, so it's likely this will take even longer. But he has a dozen people on the case, and that is one of you mentioned it already. The same thing that Damon Knight liked this episode. He says, "I thought the adaptation was kind of neat. It made me famous in Milford, Pennsylvania. Suddenly, everybody knew who I was." I didn't mind the aliens being megalic.
Oh, that would be very
Giant.
tall. Yeah.
Giantism.
Because I knew they couldn't film my pig people without making it look like a Disney film. The only thing that bugged me was Serling's treating the alien language as if it were just another kind of code.
Wow.
Interesting.
Just as you mentioned, just as we've spoken about before, they in the short story they had a dictionary, which would make more sense.
I'm willing to hand wave that given the quality of the episode, and I'll just assume they had some kind of a translation matrix to start. It was just off screen.
Yes.
Well, I
They
hate
just
to do
had to.
this, but I'm going to have to drop down into the comments. But it's been fun. I'm really glad I got the opportunity to discuss one of my favorite shows with some fine folks.
Yeah, thank you,
So,
Phil.
Yeah,
of course,
nice to meet you, Philip.
Likewise.
I'm hoping to come back
Well, wait a second.
next month.
Okay, but wait a minute. Since you're leaving us, if you want, you can tell us what you think about this episode, and if there's anything that you're doing on the internet that you want to share with everybody, anything you want to promote.
Okay.
Feel free to.
Yeah. So now this is like one of my favorite episodes, and it's one of those ones that I keep coming back to, time and time again. And I feel like one of the things that makes it the most memorable is that I don't know, it just the arc that that it has through the narration just kind of gets me thinking that if this would have happened in the 1960s, that this probably would have happened almost exactly the way it did. And then with the twist of it being, the aliens are actually these sort of cannibal creatures. And it starts to make my mind stir. I'm like thinking like, so what would have happened if he had gotten to the planet? And then like, what would have happened, to the people on Earth once they realized that's where everybody was going? They would never hear from anybody. Like what happens after that? And so there is a sequel sort of episode, kind of a tangential thing from in the new Twilight Zone, which is an interesting take on it, which I appreciated. At least them bringing them back. I kind of wish they would have gone further with it, but even then, I feel like it was a good kind of thing to see in terms of reboots. But no, I mean, this is one of those ones that I need to get the shirt. There's a shirt on Amazon that has like the Canamints and it says "to serve" or "serving man" since 1962, and I need to get that shirt.
Oh
Nice.
God, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it. If anybody wants that shirt, go grab it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, the sequel up isn't as good, but boy, they had a great cast for that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements I like in it, and I'm glad that they were able to kind of like just reboot the look and make it look more or less the way it was supposed to.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it was
I'm
definitely
appreciative of that.
spooky too. It had an X-Files thing going. I think it's called "You Might Also Like."
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one last thing I do want to leave you all with is right now I'm kind of in a transition point with my YouTube channel. Right now it's at FALHQ47, so it's basically Fall HQ 47, and that's my world building channel. So I talk about science fiction, fantasy, and horror. We're gonna basically hit the ground running next year with a whole bunch of new content. So I'm hoping that people will join me there. We talk about stuff from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even up to today. Books, literature, television shows, films, whatever it is, I will talk about it. So I hope you all join me there.
Can
If
you-
not, I'll see you guys next month.
Wait a second. Can you put that in the private chat before you leave? Because I need
Okay.
to put that in the public chat.
Yeah, we'll do. Because some stuff did change slightly. So
Please, thank
Hopefully
you.
we can get
It
that in.
just helps me out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because right now I've had to rebrand a few things, and I'm trying to make it to where we hit stuff that I actually think I could actually talk about instead of things I think I might obliquely be interested in. So I hope
It's an
people
interesting
enjoy.
balance.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm just surprised at the highest. The one video that I do have that has the most likes is a Dragon Riders at Pern video, and I find that very fascinating.
Yeah, figuring out what your listeners want to watch.
Yeah, those are the Anne McCaffrey books, right? I read those 50 years ago. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they still have some staying power. But other than that, I'll be in the comments, so I won't be completely gone. I hope I can at least be there. So I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, see you around, Philip. Thanks for hanging out.
Of course, we'll see you guys.
See you soon. Thank you to Philip. And oh goodness, yes, there's his channel right here. And I guess he's going to start working on that next year, so stay tuned. And we've got his so Chambers bosses. Okay, so he's doing every kind of cryptography he could figure out. And then he says this. Almost forgot my video.
I'll tell you something, Colonel. This is a tough nut. This is a real tough nut.
And
yeah, it's a hard one to crack.
Yes. So he says he's a big fanboy. He's totally on their side. He's saying the aliens, they've done nothing but good for us so far. The Canamits, they're great. They even left their book around. They don't care that we have it. And so it must have nothing but good news inside. And you know what proves it? The new nitrate they used that they demonstrated in Argentina this morning. That soil had more vitamins in it 6 hours later than a drug change.
I should have just said nutrients.
Yeah, he should have said nutrients. I know that country. That's as barren and fruitless as any place on earth. But saying vitamins makes it sound like they're so you definitely want your humans to have lots of good vitamins. Taking their vitamins.
Argentina isn't exactly barren.
Yeah, it's interesting though. It's sort of like, I don't know if that's what they used to call it, and then we switch, because like we used to call everything atomic, and they refer to atomic here, and we switched over to nuclear. So I wonder if they used to refer to like nutrients in soil as vitamins.
Maybe
it's more common, or just an odd turn of phrase.
I don't know. I don't know if they used to call them that, but I do know that Chambers is also saying that these aliens are giving us the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, but that was another thing, though, was in the 60s or today, not much has really changed. Argentina, I guess you wouldn't consider it an overwhelming breadbasket, although they are known for their cattle. But it's not barren, which is a little bit odd.
Or maybe just a specific land in Argentina, or were they saying the entirety of Argentina?
Yeah, maybe they've just never been there or seen the place, but they certainly do have a wide range of geographic features there. It's it ranges from near tropical to outright frozen. It's a long country.
Well, his bosses are not as optimistic and full of trust of the aliens as he is, so they tell him to keep deciphering precisely what the book says.
Yep.
And just then, Pat comes in to say they figured out what the cover says. Gosh, where is she? Oh, I guess I got a few clips of him. I guess I must like him a bit. Real tough nut.
Yeah, it's interesting having the main character and narrator be like the optimistic, naive one. It's not
Yes.
something I would normally expect in a story like this.
Yes, and it's his coworker here who is the real linguist who's really great at translating, and she figures out the front cover says to
Yeah.
serve man. And that sounds really great to everybody. But even Patty isn't sure what to think. So she's actually the most optimistic of all of them. The
But
most gullible.
what's also funny is that they use the word serve with dual meaning, kind of like we do. Because the meaning of serve, meaning to be of service, and then, serving, like serving food, which is kind of related, but not really.
Yeah. And, I mean, there's another meaning like to serve a tennis ball, but what I find, what I like is that the word maintains and continues to have those meanings today, 50 years, 60 years later, because not all expressions do. Oftentimes, one meaning would become dominant, and they sort of forget about another. I don't have any examples off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll come up with one, but it could be like by the time we get to the point to watch this episode today, that expression would make no sense, right? If we had stopped using one of the two meanings. So I'm glad it still works today, because not every linguistic turn of phrase survives the passage of time like that.
Are you being served, madam?
Yeah.
That double meaning. I guess.
Yeah, serve your head on a platter.
Yeah, and I guess the idea that the Canaanite language has that same double meaning in their language would be strange.
Well, not necessarily. It could only have the one meaning, but we're reading it wrong.
Oh, that's possible too.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to have the other meaning. It could mean eating for all we know, but we still read it as having a double meaning, but they read it as just good eating.
Oh goodness, where was I? I lost my note. I lost where I am in my notes. What happened? Oh, right, I know how I couldn't find it. I just look up the dialogue.
Looks
there
like
we are.
We're back at the UN.
We are. So we're back at the UN. Mr. Chambers says that new nitrate they demonstrated in Argentina. We did that already. Your optimism is most refreshing. Where am I? I guess I'm still finding where I was. Yes, we're back at the UN where they're seeing if a lie detector test will work on the aliens.
This is a great scene.
The only problem is that, this, well, I guess maybe I have to overlook the fact that we know lie detectors are not very good scientific devices anymore, because they only register how calm you are. And so somebody who's a sociopath can totally, or just somebody who knows how to regulate their emotions and be calm.
Yeah,
can
and
trick
we also assume they have the same physiological reactions to stress as we do, and that's a dangerous assumption.
Yeah, but I guess at the same time, even if they do, he really is. They do in turn intend to serve man.
Oh,
so okay, as long as they use that terminology, they don't have to lie.
Yeah, I have a great example. Manufacture used to mean to make by hand, and now it means almost the opposite, to make using machinery. So if this episode was to manufacture man, it would have a completely different take on it today as we did when they did it before. Also, the word nice used to mean foolish and ignorant, and now it can be sarcastically, but generally we use that to signal a pleasant or agreeable person. So
the words have a tendency to change like that. That is strange. Like, I think dude used to mean a dandy.
Yeah, and especially one with a dual meaning like this is more inclined to evolve. So if this episode was nice humans, it would mean the opposite, today is what it did, 100 years ago.
Mhm. And that's the point, is that I've got to not think so modernly, because maybe in the 60s it felt like a reasonable possibility that lie detector tests might work. These might
Oh,
be
yeah,
a
absolutely.
viable kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But they're still making the assumption about alien physiology, which I think is the real. And of course, what actually happened is they ain't lying. You just
Yeah.
didn't ask the right questions.
Plus, these guys are telepathic, so they, we don't know exactly how they can regulate their impulses like this, even if it is supposed to be trustworthy kind of testing.
But it's funny.
Like you said, the Canaanites are cheating with their language, the way
Well,
they
that's the
talk.
thing. The weird thing about it is the telepathy is not communicating ideas or really thoughts. It's communicating words, and it's words that they're hiding behind.
Precisely. They say, "I hope that the people of Earth will understand and believe when I tell you." And by using those words, they can say whatever they want after, even if it's false, because it's true that they want you to believe them.
Yeah.
So that's how they tricked us. Anyway, the test satisfies everybody. They didn't see their tricks here. The machine goes haywire when they say, "How did you get to Earth?" "We walked." And so this is how it's supposed to prove that the machine works on them to reveal if they're lying.
Yeah.
Sure.
And again, the facial expression, I don't know if it was accidental or not, but man, it is perfect. Richard Keel. He's either, like a savant, idiot savant, or a genius, but is nailing it every time.
Yeah, he's a great candidate. When your world has no more hunger, no more war, no more needless suffering, that will be our reward.
Yeah, if you go back to one slide, he's not looking that tall next to her. Oh wait, maybe yeah, see? I mean, he only looks about a foot taller, but when he's standing next to what's her name? Well, Boomerang today. He looks like he's towering over he looks like he's like when he's next to Susan Cummings, if you look it up, it's the picture that shows the episode. It's just so he definitely must be standing on an apple or two, because you'll see it's when he grabs her when she's running to the ship at the end. You'll probably have something.
Yes, I will. I think I will have that.
Moderately taller than she is right there.
Mm.
Oh, he's also sitting down. Duh,
yeah, he's also sitting. But he's also sitting. But he doesn't look like. Yeah, he would probably be at least 2 foot taller than her.
Yeah, the way the gown is, though, like I didn't instantly register that he was sitting. Dope.
That's okay. Oh, speaking of dope, yeah, this episode was turned into a Treehouse of Horror episode.
Oh, it's like that Twilighty show, about the zone.
Oh, that's a different one. Actually, we're covering that one next week on the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah, but I love. Did anybody see the movie Tron? I love that episode.
That's weird. It's like something out of that Twilighty show about that zone.
I did.
I do a much better Marge than I do Homer, actually. No, I'm not kidding. I can only say one thing, but I can say it. I'll do it. I'll save it for the end if you want.
Okay. And because that's not the only show that did the parodies of this. So Canamit's, succeeding in tricking everybody that his intentions are good. The aliens are just here to bring peace and joy and plenty. And Chambers continues the narration, and the machine showed no deviation according to it. the Canamit was telling the truth. You and I and the rest of this earth had a ringside seat to the rebirth of every dream man had ever dreamed. And that's essentially true. Oh, and Keel says, I remember driving in directly from Palm Springs and reporting to MGM for hours of makeup before beginning the long day of shooting. I was so tired from driving, right from one job to another, and going through hours of brutal makeup, that when they gave me a chance to do the lines myself, I was not prepared and did not do a very good job. When I read the lines of the Canamit, ultimately, they did use someone else to dub the voice of the Canamit, and I wasn't surprised, just disappointed in myself.
Yeah, and the person they used is often mistaken for Vincent Price, but it was Joseph Ruskin.
Yes, sir. Joseph Ruskin. Uncredited, but he was there.
Yeah, and I know everybody I know that watched the Twilight Zone thought it was Vincent Price.
Yeah, I could see that.
You just couldn't look that stuff up online back then. You had to go through your Starlog magazines and that little mimeographed thing you bought at a comic book convention for $30 and
wow. And take it to the library.
Yeah. I mean, you really had to collect information. There was like Fangora, another magazine. You tried to save interviews on VHS, and you clipped newspaper articles, and bought books and magazines that had information about the shows you love. Like I bought every Star Trek book that ever came out for sure that I knew about. And nowadays you just go online and type it in. It wasn't like that. Not nearly. Information was highly valued and not easy to come by all the time.
Yeah.
And even still, though, I like having a book.
Oh, yeah.
To help with these. That's why I have the companion, the Twilight Zone companion, and Unlocking the Door.
Oh, absolutely. Classic. The books are great, but the information that they contained used to be much harder to get at.
True. I guess they weren't required to put as many people in credits then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I mean, remember in the 70s, film credits were done at the beginning of the movie, and they only took about 20 seconds. Now you've got 17 minutes at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes. And my family is upset at me every time because I want to sit through all of those credits every time. Because now they insist on putting more movie at the end of the credits.
Yeah. Anyone with kids has experienced that. I could make them leave, but you pick your battles as a parent, and that never felt like one that I needed to fight. So I just sat there.
This is a cool effect here. How they put in the translation.
Oh, yeah. And
better than subtitles.
Yeah, the ticker tapes.
Yeah, and the multiple exposures. Yeah, very cool.
There's a Treehouse of Horror with Kodos and King. They thought we were going to eat them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
17 minutes and 8 or 10 executive producers. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, 10, more like, 90.
Jeez. Executives.
Yeah, you're luckily if you only have 10 producers. Philip Leavenworth, hello. And thank you for being on the panel earlier. Fun. So now that the world seems to implicitly trust the Canamit, they begin to disarm. France gives up half of its military, and more happens over time. Japan are thanking the Canamit, and here we see this desert, this barren desert, turn into flourishing crops of wheat.
Yes, France gives up half of its military and becomes more formidable. It's an old World War II joke, guys.
That's a good one. Modern Star Trek and its 40 producers. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully Star Trek is taking a turn and we can see good things in the future. I'm not sure, but I want to be hopeful.
What is
Well,
this modern Star Trek you speak of? I've never heard of such a thing. That ended in
Goodness.
2005.
Yes.
What's he talking about?
Well, I agree with you. Star Trek ended in 2005, but somebody has the rights to the Star Trek, and they've been labeling all these new shows with the Star Trek label and passing it off as Star Trek for so many years now.
Yeah, and I have the right
I-
to tell them to kiss my arse.
You're lucky if you didn't see any of it. I've watched way too much of it.
Oh no, I suffered through. Yeah, I'm trying to do this thing, right? You have to review stuff, and I'm genuinely curious. I watched way more than was healthy mentally
Yes, me
for my
too.
brain.
Me too. Because I want to ignore it, but I can't because they do put the label on it. They call it Star Trek, so I've got to see it.
Yeah,
And
actually,
not-
that's how I discovered you. Because for the very first season of Discovery, I wasn't really online that much, and all I was hearing about is how amazing the show was and how good it was, and I'm like, I must be missing something, and I went online and I started looking for people. That's how I found your Star Trek channel, and that's how I found Clobby's, and
Mhm.
I finally realized I'm in fact not crazy. Thank God. And from there on, it was just, all of the guys we watch that are grounded in reason and common sense. But I will say this, that's how I found all of my YouTube friends, because of Discovery and later on a little bit Rings of Power.
Yeah, same here. Game of Thrones also
Yeah.
brought me over, as well as Discovery. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
the most terrible thing. I wanted to be a good Star Trek fan and like it, and I just couldn't. And I was watching these shows, the after Trek shows, and those were trying to tell me trying to explain what I just watched, because what I just watched didn't make any sense and it was terrible.
Yeah, I was genuinely calling people older and younger than me. Did the demographic people have it right? Do you just automatically stop liking things when you hit, the post 49 demographic? Because all of a sudden I don't like anything. Is that what it's like to get old, or are the shows really crappy? And I was really thinking it was me for a long time. I was believing it. And
Mhm. Yeah, and that would be terrifying if that were the case, but no, you still
Yeah.
like things. You do.
Yeah, man. I yeah, and that's
Yeah,
why,
it's not the whole modern audience thing. Ugh, what a lie that is.
yeah, but they did a phenomenal job of and are still doing of gaslighting the general public. And if it weren't for the internet and the way we can communicate now, I might not have realized that, which is a really frightening thing when you think about it.
That's true. That is frightening. My
And that's
goodness.
why, people are, well, it's just movies, it's just TV. I'm like, actually, it's our culture and it's our sanity. And that's why I feel like gaslighting of any sorts really needs to be called out and fought and attacked. Because if they'll lie to you about a TV show, what else will they lie to you about? And the answer turns out, everything, politics, history, science now. So it's all under attack. And I believe that, entertainment was sort of the test case or patient zero. Well, let's see if we can, let's see if we can gaslight them on this, and then we'll move on to other things. I don't know, but I think it's not near as trivial, and people trying to convince you that it is. It's just another form of gaslighting.
Well,
I think
the gaslighting has layers to it.
Yeah, that was ranty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think what kind of part of what went wrong with entertainment was coming from other agendas, and it just melted in. So it wasn't a mission in and of itself at first. It became something that had to be adapted for. And then part of it is just also incompetence. There's plenty of that.
Yeah. It's the incompetence is the marriage partner of malice. So
yeah, and a lack of desire to create new original stories. I know nothing is new under the sun 100%, but just taking old IPs and crapping on them doesn't work.
Well, and
Oh, no.
the writing doesn't have to be great when you can just accuse your audience of being some kind of bigot if they don't
Istophobe,
love it.
maybe?
Oh, maybe.
What a
Maybe.
coincidence. My name. I wonder where I got that from.
And yes, Philip, I do know that you like a lot of modern Star Trek. I'm not among those people, but I do appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. And he also plans to write a lot of science fiction, like the 60s and 70s more often than not, because yeah, a lot of great stuff came from the 60s and 70s, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as one of my favorite comedians said, Jim Gaffigan, he's like, don't make fun of me for liking McDonald's. Everybody likes McDonald's. It's just sometimes your McDonald's is People Magazine, or, we all have our guilty pleasures. We all like crap. The important thing is just don't pretend it's something that it isn't.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
Commando. Is that a good movie? Absolutely not. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It's poorly made. And I love it. Flash Gordon. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Flash Gordon, Flash Gordon is great. I think it's wonderful. Yes, it is silly,
No,
ridiculous,
yeah,
but
absolutely
it's so fun.
wonderful. I've seen it more than I've seen most movies that are masterpieces, but I just don't go around telling everybody that it's a good, well-made movie with a solidly constructed plot and critically important character themes.
Yeah.
I do
No.
say it's a great movie, but that
Yeah.
no, its plot is silly, but it is wonderful. It's great. It embraces its own absurdity, which is why it works so well.
Yeah, like Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. Let's get real. Not a masterpiece, but in its own way, judged on its own standards. It's quite fun and something worth watching, especially if you have the 3D glasses. So.
Yes. But let's get back to the episode. We've got a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
And we're cutting to people excited to go on a trip. They're going to travel to the Canomit homeworld, and people is so super excited about how wonderfully awesome this planet is to visit.
Yeah.
It's got perfect weather and great shopping opportunities.
She says the day you land, they take you on a conducted tour of all their shops, and you can pick out as much of it as you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you can leave whatever parts you want at all of the other shops.
It isn't even immediately strange to weigh the passengers, because if you're not going if you're not at warp or hyperdrive or whatever, it is important to know the
Yeah.
weight of how the differential of weight on your ship sometimes.
And again, his facial expressions just perfect every time. Sorry, I'm not going to drop that.
Yes, this is the biggest smile he gives the whole episode when that man tips the scales.
The heavier they are, the bigger the smile.
Yes.
It's funny. You do have to do weight and balance on an atmospheric craft, but that ain't what's happening here.
No, but you can be easily fooled by that. The Russian representative, he's eager to go next, or Korab.
Mm.
But yes, he's here. And let's see, did I get more? Oh yeah, I did get a few more.
Besides, it's an opportunity to spread peaceful coexistence through an entire galaxy.
Peaceful coexistence. I like these.
And I don't think I'll want to come back once you do get there.
Yeah, and that guy was just after saying, "Oh, they have baseball and stuff like that." It's like, okay.
Yeah, there is a bit of cynicism going on here, if you notice. Even with Theodore, his sort of offhand remark about peaceful coexistence, you can tell it was done slightly sarcastic. All of their motives and reasoning are kind of selfish. Like, nobody really has higher motives for wanting to go, like shopping, baseball, getting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's going out to, explore the final frontier or genuinely sincere about, intergalactic planetary relations. they just all look like kind of selfish fools. So
Yeah.
pigs to the slaughter, so to speak.
Yes, exactly. And well, just like a lot, there are farm animals that are pacified before a slaughter.
Yep.
And everybody is very complacent. Russian that Russian representative just seems like he wants to expand his political influence as much as he can.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Even though he said the right words, it was definitely in a cynical manner.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we could certainly use more politicians on this planet.
And he's doing Jacob's ladder with string. That's just, do kids even do that anymore? No, because they have
No.
iPhones.
No, because they have iPhones is the right answer.
Yeah,
or
man.
Android.
I spent hours, with my sisters, like doing the cup and the saucer, Jacob's ladder, all of the, and basic origami stuff. I don't think anybody does that anymore. I would imagine somebody younger watching this would wonder what the hell is he doing with his hands?
Yeah, this would be completely foreign to a kid. Oh, I need to show my children now.
This is what
And see
humans
what they
used
think
to
of it.
do when we were bored. Now he'd be looking at his phone.
Yeah, why isn't he playing Roblox? Then we cut to, he's playing with the string. Patty enters the office and it's been boring. That's what the string is all about. Because there's nothing to decode, because there's no more war. There's nothing to decode anyway, except that book. And we learn that more and more of these aliens are coming, and thousands of people take off to live with them. And Chambers continues to talk about how adaptable to change the humans are. Everyone's so excited to go to the home world. Both Chambers and Patty are on a wait list. So she says while she waits, she's going to continue deciphering the book. And Chambers gave up on it a month ago. Now we cut to Chambers making his way to the ship. And we get this classic line, which everybody's been waiting for. He's turning off all of these useless machines because they're just wasting power. And I'm only stalling because there's a certain slide that you were mentioning earlier that I want to see if I get the side by side or not. If I caught it. If I knew you were looking for it, I would have made sure to get it. No, I don't think I did get it. But that's the closest we're gonna get.
The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook.
And they quickly throw him on the stairs there and raise the, what do you call it? The drop down.
The gantry. That is the slide. You're just cropped in. If you zoomed out, you would see the image I'm talking about. But if you go back, look, her head is like directly at his chest level. So just there is a zoomed out version of that photo.
Gotcha. Yes, and hold on just a moment. I've got to help my daughter with something, so just need 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So what's the name of the actress again? That
Priorities. Cummings. Susan Cummings.
Oh,
yeah. Susan Cummings. Got it.
Yeah, the visual gives you just a very quick, instantaneous sense of the power dynamic of this giant guy towering over this helpless woman. And even here, he doesn't have a chance.
Yes, he doesn't. They can throw humans around as if we were toddlers.
Yep. And it's funny. He doesn't try to run away. He just, he sends them off and he's staying. He doesn't care.
Him in the nuts.
Yep. And so I guess that they left that book around just because it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter now that the cattle knows their food, because you've already declawed them. Their military is all dismantled, and now they're just perfect livestock.
Yep, and the final moment of surrender.
Yes. Eat. We wouldn't want you to lose weight. So that is precisely well, and it does. The best things make me think about what happens next. How many humans actually try to go against this, or hide, or try to live underground, or something? It's a complete nightmare. It is scary.
Yeah,
To think
absolutely.
about.
Well, we don't. It's just a half hour, so obviously you can't see a demonstration of. You just assume because they made it to Earth, they have high technology and they're advanced and everything, at least technologically speaking. But you don't see any kind of like demonstration of their weapons capabilities or anything like that. So you really don't know. Is there still a chance, for
Right.
humanity to defend itself? But that's not the point. The episode is focused on just that one, shall we say, that one twist and the
Yes.
concept more than anything else.
Yes. The concept of taking species who are at the top of the food chain and putting them right at the bottom again.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like to think, I know, just being in the South, I know people that are armed that are never giving up their guns. I like to think that, we would always maintain a certain amount of measure to protect ourselves and defend ourselves, regardless
Yes,
of
I
the
think so too.
circumstances. And we have enough
That's why I want
paranoid
to
people.
see. I would watch a sequel of this if it was made well, of
Oh,
humans trying
absolutely.
to fight this.
It really doesn't make very much difference because sooner or later, will all of us be on the menu? All of us.
I don't know. I think Jeff Myrtlebank will contest that.
Then
He'll
we get the
set their
closing.
saucers on fire with a snap of his fingers.
Oh, if they're in the same universe, Jeff Myrtlebank could help
Yeah.
humanity, and no one
Yeah.
will think of him as a demon anymore, but an angel.
Could
Yeah,
you
well,
imagine a Twilight Zone superheroes saga? You have
yeah,
Jeff Myrtlebank there, and
Billy Mummy, but he might help the aliens. You don't know, but um, I suspect it'll be much like a Falling Skies situation, which is, humanity is overly decimated, but they still haven't given up and they're fighting back. And yeah, most of civilization is destroyed, but if you look at historically an outmatched force, they still find a way to, they still find a way to oppose their conquerors. Rarely do you see the kind of unconditional surrender that people want.
they should have used Gerald Fitzgerald Fortune's piano from last week as a lie detector. Oh, sorry about that. I'm good at creating moments of silence.
No, but you're probably right. I just need to watch. I just need to read this book so I know what you're talking about.
No, last week, remember?
Oh,
A piano in the house, the
oh, that
piano that got people
Fitzgerald.
to, yes.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah. They had that
Okay.
piano, that would have been a better lie detector.
Yes, it would have. It would
Would
have, and
have.
everybody would have not given up their military.
Yeah, this guy would
Gosh.
be singing stuff,
Yeah.
dancing
Yeah,
around.
a lot of these Twilight Zone situations could be fixed if you just mash episodes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great concept. The Twilight Avengers go through all the episodes and get all the superpowered and people with paranormal ability folk together to form
Maya, the cat girl.
the ultimate crime fighting team. Isn't there the episode with the glasses where you can see into another person's soul, or was that an Outer Limits one?
I don't remember.
I
But I
haven't.
do
If it's a
remember.
Twilight Zone, I haven't gotten to it yet.
I remember Maya, the cat girl from Perchance to Dream. She'd be a great. Well, she'd probably be a super villain, actually.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. There might be some politicians who are on the side of the aliens who say, "Just don't eat me, and I'll help you round up the cattle for you." That'll be oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna read the closing narration now before.
Never works out.
Yeah, there's always collaborators. There are always people that are only looking for
useful idiots are always eventually consumed.
Yes. Closing narration is the recollections of one Michael Chambers with appropriate flashbacks and soliloquy, or more simply stated, the evolution of man. The cycle of going from dust to dessert. The metamorphosis from being the ruler of a planet to an ingredient in someone's soup. It's tonight's bill of fare from the Twilight Zone. And I kind of made a little bit of a mistake. It's not that we'd be on the bottom of the food chain, we'd still be on the top of our food chain, but then the aliens would be on top of our us, and we would be their dinner. And we have a bunch of paranoid people that won't let themselves be on the menu. Yes. Yes, it would be interesting to see the effects. And let me see what's been going on in the chat while we've been talking about this episode. Just to make sure I've not missed anything. Here's the thing, they call themselves Canaments, but the universe knows them as condiments, and they're always throwing sauce on everything. I bet the book is a recipe book. Greek letters Larson. How did you know? Snortopoopus Cuber, who is rumored to also have eaten humanity. Nom nom. Phantom Outsider says, "What if the book was poorly edited? What if the book had nothing to do with why they were on Earth? The aliens could have been half-assing his job, reading who knows what, and going for the 100th time will give. He was so enthusiastic to serve man or stuff humans like to eat." Yeah, well, and that's the whole twist on the Simpsons episode in the House of Horror.
Yeah.
Was that it was not actually a cookbook. It was how to cook for humans.
Humans, yeah. How to cook for humans.
For 40 humans.
So there was a 1960 anthology show called Thriller, which is very similar to the Twilight Zone. And that was the episode I'm thinking about. It's called The Cheaters, where a man develops a pair of spectacles that allows him to see the naked absolute truth about people, revealing their innermost selves. And what happens is he ends up looking in the mirror, and it says nobody with a pure enough heart would ever look into a mirror to look at their true self, and he goes crazy. So sorry for the spoiler.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, spoiler for something made long ago. That's okay.
Yeah.
If it was released 6 months ago.
Yeah, so it's another 60s anthology series that, very much Twilight Zone contemporary, and they had actors like William Shatner, Leslie Nielsen, Rip Torn, and Mary Tyler Moore.
In that episode, I got to see it.
Yeah. So, it's the, let's see, I think, American Anthology TV series Thriller, aired from 1960 to 1962. And
that's cool.
They had some pretty serious guest stars. So
the closest so far to the Twilight Zone, there was an episode where someone could read other people's minds for a while. A penny for your thoughts.
Yeah. And
no one's gonna trust a giant alien in a muumuu. And Eris 218 is here. There's his channel. Hello, Eris. And also goodbye, Eris. I think Eris also left. Thanks. Bye. He said they might also have telekinesis, so they could manipulate the needle That's Phantom Outsider. Oh, the needle for the lie detector.
Oh, yeah. True
That's a
enough.
possibility. Gavin says hello to Philip. Lol, France loses that one war and never lives it down. Penny's here.
Oh, hey, Penny. She's so sweet.
She is. Philip, yeah, we talked about that one. He likes that modern stuff. To serve man with a side of mashed potatoes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, of course. Because they're on Earth, just because they're eating man doesn't mean they might also not sample the rest of the cuisine that we have to offer, and they discover that they like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, they do give you the impression though that they're definitely sort of a monoculture there in terms of their agriculture and farming. They only want humans.
Fair enough. Our food is made with the best people.
I wonder how they decided that. Were
Well,
they
they're
one
tasting
of
love.
the ancient aliens that visited Earth before and developed a taste for human? Perhaps they created us and seeded our existence, genetically manipulated primates to form us for their own feeding rituals.
Yeah.
That's a possibility because it just does seem a little bit impractical that they come all the way to Earth just to eat us.
As an experiment without ever
Mhm.
having tried it before.
Mhm.
Unless they're really hungry.
Yeah, and they like very particular cuisine, and it's got to be sentient for some reason. So, Phantom Outsider was AFK, but listening. Getting older doesn't mean you dislike new things. Getting older means you have less tolerance for stupidity. If they made an honest effort, we'd watch.
Yes,
and I
thank
think
you for that affirmation. But for a while, I was wondering. I was genuinely unsure about that. I feel much better now because I can go back and watch the old stuff, and it still has the same effect. And I know there are people that like the new stuff, like not just shills, like we like to say online, getting art, but people who genuinely
True.
like it. And I am honestly baffled and puzzled. I cannot understand, but I certainly
can't
accept
either.
that they like what they like.
Yes, I do. I do accept it too. If I don't like something, I'm not going to. You
Yeah.
like what you like.
If it weren't for all the gaslighters and paid shills and bots and all of the artificial push, I think it would be easier to accept people that just liked it. But our defenses are up now because people are trying to put one over on us, and that makes the whole thing entirely different.
Yes, it does. And there are lots of reasons Discovery is awful, but Phantom Outsider gives just one. Having someone give the live long and prosper symbol salute and then blowing up the ship is not an honest Star Trek show. It is an insult, and being older, we are insulted.
Yeah, that's an insult in a way that's not even trying to serve some sort of even political agenda other than maybe a self-destruction of the whole foundation of Star Trek and some of the principles that were being espoused that were very progressive at the time, and it's still kind of continued to be such. It's like just think of the words live long and prosper. It's not like a something you say just before you set off a bomb or something,
And the alternate phrase is peace and long life. It's the same meaning, but gosh, it's definitely not right. They definitely miss the notes on that one.
It was just a line, just a line to use, a classic line to use that you could crap on.
Yeah, well, what they've done to Vulcans, instead of making them mostly logical, they're like hyper emotional. It's insulting to anyone who liked the original. I don't know.
Yeah, basically making them worse than Romulans. But Jet Sparks is here to serve man. It's a cookbook.
The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook.
If you want a turkey for a pet, use a leash on it. Kimberly? I don't think I'm gonna be having a pet turkey anytime soon. Although there will be a turkey pardon. Has that happened already? I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah. News?
Jeff
I don't
says,
watch that.
Twilight Zone. How dare you? Well, and that's the Twilight Zone. There's a few more things from the companion that I didn't read. In Knight's original story. Oh yeah, but I did mention this already, so I actually don't have to mention it because I remembered it so well. Yeah, never mind. I already said this stuff.
You know, I find the concept of a turkey pardoning ceremony actually much more morbid than even the idea of just eating turkey.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about it that sort of, I don't know, I guess it points out or emphasizes, maybe it's not more morbid, it just emphasizes, the practice of what we're doing to begin with, maybe. I don't know. I just always found it a bit, the idea of pardoning a turkey when they're not criminals, we're not putting them to, it's part of the food chain. We're not punishing them, So
That's
it
true.
always struck me as a little bit, morbid.
It is. It is pretty morbid. Like, we're gonna kill all these turkeys, but you get to live.
Makes you
Forbidden
wonder if,
Planet saucer.
the
that's
turkeys have their own turkey Jesus.
I forgot to mention the other saucer. The other saucer that at the end of the episode that flies off was also another from another. Okay, the footage of the flying saucer taking off at the end of the episode was borrowed from the 1956 motion picture Earth versus the Flying Saucers.
Yeah. That's why I said there were 3 different movies it cribbed from.
Yes, the stop motion effect is credited to Ray Harryhausen, but the closing episode doesn't acknowledge him. And of course, as we mentioned before, Forbidden Planet. Hold on just a moment.
Yes. Forbidden Planet. And Francis.
Yeah, so in the beginning, that was Day the Earth Stood Still, Forbidden Planet, and Earth versus the Flying Saucer, which, kind of cool. Way to save some money and make a very cool, powerful episode.
The Day the Earth Stood Still utilized the theremin to great effect, and everything in Forbidden Planet was made electronic musical instruments.
Oh, yeah.
Just for the film.
And remember, back then, people weren't watching and rewatching everything over and over, so it was a lot harder to spot when they reused a piece of medium for maybe a different show or movie, because, they might have caught it 1 or 2 times on TV or saw it in the movies. It was sort of before VCRs, before streaming. Nobody was watching things over and over, so it was easier to get away with back then, I guess is my...
Mm-hmm.
Are you back, Jill?
Yes, I just got back. Thank you. I had a little request after this episode. I will be helping my daughter make popsicles.
Oh.
She was like, I'm going to make soda popsicles. I was like, no, wait for me and we'll make good popsicles. We have lemonade.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we got to make the lemonade. Anyway, yeah, so that's coming up soon in my house.
Coming up soon.
Nobody gets to see it but my daughter.
Seems like a summer thing, but hey, man, whatever. Like
we're in Texas. It's not cold.
Oh yeah, that's Fair enough.
The
Yeah.
stairs into the saucer were from Forbidden Planet. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I could.
Yep.
I wish we had a little bit chillier weather than we
Yeah,
do.
me too. Yeah, then it would really feel like it was Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
Forbidden Planet was the pilot episode of Star Trek, basically. Yes. Yes, definitely Forbidden Planet was a huge influence on Star Trek. And then they even used that device that they had on the ship to land so that the pilots didn't get crushed. They used those to make the transporter. So there's a lot of influence there. And of course, the Bones McCoy Doctor Captain relationship. Lots of wonderful things. Phantom Outside. Oh yeah, also the Shakespeare. Star Trek uses Shakespeare. We'll talk about so much awesome.
A lot of Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm. The reason the rhino and elephants are wrong. Wait, what? What are we even talking about?
I'd like to know. Let me know.
I don't know. Is you can saw off the horns and tusks and not kill them so that no one eats them, so it's wasteful.
Oh, they're talking about, yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, poaching is terrible. Definitely.
Yeah, because if you don't kill them, you leave them defenseless and they're going to get killed in their habitat.
Yeah. And also, anything we can make without, we don't need tusks and horns anymore as raw materials for anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the aphrodisiac is highly overrated.
Yeah, oysters are better.
Still not a good reason anyway.
Chambers, yes. Yes, Chambers, this guy. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes that's interesting.
No, when you
that's
first mentioned that, I was like, oh, so elephants and rhinos are under some sort of misapprehension? This is interesting.
Yes, that's right. We don't need no stinking tusks. Let the elephants keep them. In 1991, the motion picture. Okay, so these are more references to the episode. The Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. Bachner runs across the screen holding a book, screaming, "It's a cookbook!" Oh, I don't remember that. In the episode Sofa So Good on Married with Children, initially telecast in January 16th, 1994, Al screams off screen, "Peg to serve man, it's a cookbook." I gotta see all of these. In the episode Space on News Radio, initially telecast May 21st, 1997, a comical look of the future involves Jimmy distributing copies of the book titled "To Serve Man." The printing is a result of a publishing company that he bought out. He says, yeah. So more references, and there was a reference in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and from 2002. And in the episode Peace on Angel. Oh, okay. Then another show called Angel. Gosh.
Yeah, that's
lots of references.
Spinoff, yeah.
I didn't even know a Buffy spinoff existed.
Oh yeah, Angel. It's a great show. It was one of my favorite at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's her ex-boyfriend, Vampire Angel, goes out and starts his own private detective agency.
Interesting.
Quite good.
Well, here are the previews for next week. Next week on the Twilight Zone, contributor Charles Beaumont provides us with a most charming tale of an old man and some children. An old man who's an exceptional playmate. Exceptional because, well, how many old men do you know can change into monsters? Mr. Beaumont's excellent tasting stew is further seasoned by an element of mystery. It's called The Fugitive. We hope to see you next week. And the next story, preview for next week's story, another one, next week, an excursion into a strange and totally different dimension. We'll bring you a story by Richard Matheson called Little Girl Lost. And this one, we guarantee, is not the kind found in a police docket or a missing persons bureau. When this little girl is lost, we're talking about out of this world. I hope you can join us next week and find out precisely where she's gone. And so, yes, that episode, Little Girl Lost, is an inspiration for another Treehouse of Horror episode, which we'll talk about more in depth, of course, next week. We don't want to talk too much about it, but that is where I got that one clip, the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, no. Do you remember the episode where Hunter invents a makeup gun? He takes a shotgun and he's like, Dad, I don't think women want you shooting them in the face. And he's like, women will like what I tell them to like. But to which Marge goes, he tried to shoot Marge and she ends up shooting the wall. And it's just like Tammy Faye Baker dripping down the wall. And she's like, Homer, you had it set on whore.
I do vaguely remember that.
So I wasn't kidding, right? I do a much better Marge than Homer. I have no idea why.
Thank you. That's a preview for next week. Awesome.
Okay.
When that app came out, it was huge, man. We must have watched it like 300 times.
It's my favorite Treehouse.
Yeah. I figured by your name,
Yes, that is a fair. Oh man, it was no contest. I'm just ending the poll just to put Jeff out of his misery.
Oh, poor Jeff.
Poor Jeff.
Well,
we all feel bad for him.
I think the other app is more there than is often recognized, but you're going up against a classic,
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's almost not fair to poor Jeff.
Yeah. I think Myrtlebank deserves to be in the heavy rotation during the holidays, at least. I do think that.
Man, he deserves to be in the Hall of Heroes,
Yeah, because he's the one who's going to help us defeat the aliens.
Twilight Avenger, absolutely. He's probably going to be second in command, only under Billy Mummy, who might end up being the villain. So who knows?
Yeah, he's probably going to be the villain. I'm hoping he has nothing to do with this. But if we accept Jeff, then we probably have to accept everybody. So we have to look at all the episodes previous to this, and it builds quite a strange world. I guess that's the point of the Twilight Zone. But the poll is To Serve Man gets 81%, while The Last Rites of Jeff Myrtlebank got 19%. So a few of you did choose Jeff, and he is grateful for your vote.
Yeah,
with 31 votes. The Serve Man influenced the move for their song "Fields of People."
Oh, wow. Interesting. I have to take off pretty soon. Mr. Brown is going on early tonight at 4:30.
Oh wow, that's early. Well, okay, 4:30 your time.
Yeah, 3:30 for you.
Eastern. Okay.
Yeah, so 4:30 Eastern. It's going to be sort of a quicker bonus episode because everyone's busy, but I have a few things I need to do before then. But I just wanted to say, we haven't had a lot of direct communication, but you've always been one of those channels that really, it really started off my YouTube journey, discovering your and Clubby's Star Trek streams. A lot of times I just lurked, but I had you on while I was working, listening to you go over classic TOS episodes. It brought joy to my heart in a time where Star Trek itself did not. So I always
unfortunately I didn't get to Clubby until after they covered TOS, so that's always my biggest regret, which is why I reviewed it on my channel.
Oh,
Yeah, I
he,
showed
he
up right near the end of them reviewing the animated series.
which I also love.
Mm.
Yeah, we were almost done with Voyager, which I
Uh,
was just really wanting to get through that, but
I
I
did
just
too.
have
I
to.
couldn't wait to do Enterprise with them. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But I've always found you delightful, and it was a real honor for you to have me on today, and I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. You were delightful too. I loved your additions. I even liked your rant about everything in the middle. It was refreshing.
Hey, I have I have the old man age get off my lawn thing going, so I earned it.
Let me get Brown's just in case. I think everybody on my channel are subscribed to Brown, but just in case there's one person out there who doesn't know. If you want to hear more from Istophobos, check out the Mr. Brown Alliance channel very soon. You'll find him there.
And
Yeah,
he
thank
joins
you.
me Fridays and Sundays
Oh
on
yeah,
the
Wayfarer
Wayfarer
channel.
project.
Nice. Yes.
I'm still working on getting my first real video out there, but I do have a channel. I don't think I can post links, but I did post it up in the chat. It's just at Istophobos. I'm pretty much the same thing everywhere. So
Mhm. Okay,
but
I'll
yeah,
get that in there too for you.
okay, thanks.
Mhm.
And I am working, that first video, it seems to just always need a little bit more tweaking or editing, but I'm gonna get it out there.
Editing is so much more difficult than just live streaming. So
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of prep that goes into my live streams, but making a short, concise episode show video is very difficult because I've
Yeah,
done that
and
too.
I hate my voice now, and I've recorded everything hundreds of times, and it's never good enough. And at some point, you just have to, bite the bullet and move on. I'm not quite there yet, but I am
Oh,
going to get a video out, I swear.
yes, I'm sure you will. And as soon as you do, let us know.
Oh,
Oh, I found you there.
I will. I definitely will.
There he is. Mr. Phobos. Well, I like your voice. So thanks for sharing it today.
Oh, well, thank you.
The the move was pre-Electric Light Orchestra. One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eaters. Yeah, that's the thing with the black and white. We don't know what color these aliens were. We don't need Jeff Myrtlebank as a little Anthony Beaumont. Will save us. Just tell him tall aliens are always singing. Yes, that's true too. But I gotta let Istophobos go. Thanks for hanging out.
All right. Well, I will catch up with you guys later, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating that, and otherwise, just have a great day.
Yes,
Thanks
happy
for being
Thanksgiving to you too.
Yes, to
Bye-bye.
you too, sir.
Yeah, I'll see you very shortly, Mr. Wayfair. All righty.
All right. Ciao.
And there we go. And thank you to Istophobos. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he helped make up for my cricket moments where I just say something that nobody has anything to say.
You're more cultured than I am, so
I'm
I've
not
got to
more
do my
cultured or
homework.
anything. I just have a bad. I'm not good at reading the room, so to speak.
No, I didn't catch the piano joke. Yeah, the piano would have been better lie detector. Agreed.
Oh yeah,
That was a good one, and I was the one who dropped the ball on that.
No worries.
You've been great.
No, it was a pleasure joining you today, and this is a great time of year. I've always loved it, and each year it seems to go by faster and faster. But this is a great Thanksgiving Eve broadcast, and I'm glad I got to join you.
Happy, joy, says Larry. I
happy,
think.
Happy, joy, happy, joy.
I used to have that, but I guess I don't have it anymore. I used to
I'll
have it
teach your
here.
grandmother to suck eggs. It's actually in it. That's actually a
Yes.
line in it. All sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah,
Man,
well, yeah, Ren and Stimpy was weird.
bizarre. Man. I loved it. I was a big fan at the time.
Me too. But I think that's all we have. That's all for this time in the Twilight Zone. And I want to thank everybody who is here. Thank you to Istophobos and the Wayfair Project for making my stream much more lively, as well as Philip Leavenworth. Thank you also for joining us.
Yeah.
And and even also awesome is everybody in the chat. Thank you. And I've got the top fans button here to give me a clue as to who was here. We had Kevin Winnan. Actually, we can share this. Let's share it. Let's share this little page as soon as it pulls up. There it is. It has to be right on the bottom. And Herc 130 was here. I totally missed Herc 130. I'm so sorry to Herc 130. I didn't see you. Oh wait, did I see you? Oh, hit and run drive by. Hello all. Gotta go. You that was a hit and run. I got run over by that one. I feel bad. Thank you for the
Wow.
hit and run, Herc 130. And not Z3PO for hanging out, as well as Jet
Oh,
Sparks. Yeah, I've
not
seen not
Z.
Z3PO on your channel.
Yeah.
Tiger Stripes is always wonderful. And Gorilla's Random Thoughts always lets me know when I'm streaming on the wrong day.
Well, it worked out
Hilarious.
this week. I had an appointment yesterday.
Yeah, we would have missed out on your cool stuff. I liked everything. I do. I enjoyed what you said. And Eris
Oh,
218. Thank you, Eris, Jason Love, FKHC 2005. Penny, the Trek reviewer, was here too, as well as Apex Comics, and of course Istophobos, little teddy bear. Pete G, Grogu, Euler Greg, the Wayfarer Project. That's you.
yeah.
John the Beautiful Dad, and my bot, Kimberly Ann Hart, Greek Letters Larson, Snortopupus Cuber. He's not happy about the aliens, the Canaanites, taking his food source. So I think he would be on our side.
Taking
James,
his food source.
yes. Well, because polar bears eat people.
Oh, okay.
James Caserta. Anyway, here's the top 5. Snortopupus Cuber is number 5, with James Caserta at number 4, and a glove cleaner at number 3. And of course, it makes sense. Phantom Outsider gets number 2. Actually, I thought Phantom Outsider would have been 1, but Gavin Blackburn was number 1. That's amazing.
Wow.
Nice work, Gavin.
Gavin was feeling it.
Mm-hmm. And now James Caserta wants a pickle. Okay, but be careful if it's the pickle from the one that the doctor ate from, because everybody has gaslit me to believe that he put the half-eaten pickle back in the barrel, and now I'm not sure whether he did that or not.
At least it's identifiable, but no, that ruins the rest.
Yes. The aliens were disguised as polar bears. Oh. Sneaky.
That would have really looked Disney.
Yes. Well, anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time, next Tuesday. Wait a minute. Yeah, we will. Just checking, because it is the holiday. I'm not going to be streaming later. I'm not going to be streaming on Friday because I have double Thanksgiving on Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, I might stream. I might play a game. So do you have anything coming up this week?
Well, Friday at 7 Eastern, before B-Sides, we're planning to do commentary on the Genesis album Selling England by the Pound as part of our Friday night music thing that we're trying. It'll be me and Istophobos. And then on Sunday, Earworms as usual, 7 p.m. Eastern after Mr. Brown. And it'll be Genesis of the Daleks this week, the classic Tom Baker episode. We'll probably be able to do about half of it because that's a mega episode.
Yeah, and be careful with the clips on Doctor
Mm-hmm.
Who. I had a friend who tried to cover Genesis of the Daleks a long time ago, and he got the whole stream taken down because he used too many. His clips were too long, so be careful with those.
Yeah, I'll only have a few. They'll be real short. I had to do that with Babylon 5. And if there's a problem, then I'll do the auto cut. I'm kind of accustomed to doing that now. And
yeah, right. Afterwards, they're like, "Oh, here's your claims," and you got to pick at it until it
well, they do have an automated thing. As long as it works properly, it will clean them all out for you. But
yeah, but you got to be careful because sometimes it picks out your unique content and it takes out your actual dialogue.
Well, that's why I would keep them really short and few. I think most people will be fine with just about all of it being slides. You know, we remember it very well. And if you can't play long enough moments, might as well not play them at all in some circumstances. There might be a line here and there that'll
Yeah,
be worth
I
it.
saw your UFO show. You're very good at picking out clips, so I think you'll be fine.
Oh, the last one was awful because the clips didn't play right. Evie Mux played a green rectangle for everybody except me. So, you know, well, hey, looks like it'll be StreamYard now.
Oh.
Well, that's
Yay.
the last one. The first UFO went fine. It's just the last one, all out of nowhere, it wasn't playing the clips right. It was just giving a green rectangle instead of a video clip. So.
I didn't know that because I saw the videos. I guess only us in the backstage saw it. Who were?
Well, that was the first UFO.
I wasn't. I wasn't there for the second one. Okay.
Oh, you were in the chat.
I was in the chat. But I didn't. Yeah. I guess I didn't pay attention. I was multitasking, so I didn't notice.
It probably is an hour before we got to one. You may not have been able to stay that long.
Yeah. Oh, that's possible too. Give me Genesis.
Yes,
yeah, every time.
Genesis. Yeah, Genesis is the band on Friday and the Tom Baker episode on Sunday. Genesis.
That's kind of clever.
Daleks. Yeah.
But I like that anytime somebody mentions Genesis of the Daleks on my channel, all anybody can think of is Star Trek 3.
Yeah. Planet Forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
Forbidden
Bill
Planet.
Collins refused to perform unless money and unless there was more money. I have had enough. Of you. I do, I have that clip somewhere, but it's not loaded into my StreamYard. That's what Collins faxed his wife when he divorced her. Okay, now you guys are having fun. Thank you guys for hanging out, and hello to DJ Ronnie G, who also says, "Why did you put me in the thumbnail? Why did you put my picture in the thumbnail?" He is pretty smart, so I wouldn't be surprised if his brain's that big.
Yeah.
He's deaf with ears like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that I have like 5 different goodbyes. This is like my live streams are like the end of the Lord of the Rings, but for real, this is for real this time. I'll see you guys next time. I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
Emma.